The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Feel Good Friday, August 5th, 2022, and this sports show with NFL football to talk about begins now.
Here we go, Atta baby.
That's right, here we go, Atta baby, into an NFL season. The Hall of Fame game kicked off the preseason for this 2022 NFL season, and we are incredibly pumped up about it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, watching that, did we all think to ourselves about 3-4 plays in ice, the USFL again, just with some NFL uniforms? Yes. Was there some surprises? Absolutely. Like Josh Jacobs playing.
Yeah. A decent amount of burn.
And then the conversation afterwards, like, oh, you always like you running backs in preseason. It's like, do you? All right. I mean, was that a message from Josh McDaniels about what the future of the Raiders look like? And is Josh Jacobs going to be on the move? That guy's a hell of a fucking football player. I know there's a lot of teams that would love to pick him up. And what's going on? Why didn't Josh like Josh? Doug Peterson's Jacksonville Jaguars, they look terrible. Now, does that mean anything? No, because we didn't really see any of the players that we're probably going to see coming up playing. We got to see their first-round draft pick, Walker. Yep. He made a play, had a roughing the passer, first play of the game. First NFL snap, he gets a roughing the passer, gets a sack later. Seems like he's going to be explosive. They spent $175 million in guaranteed money this offseason to try to rebuild and shift that entire culture. Doug Peterson talked to Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico and said that a lot of what has been happening here is like basically regaining the entire building's trust.
Yeah, bingo.
Like, hey, although I do hold the position of coach, and you guys have been through a couple of them, and the last one was an absolute nightmare. Like, we can actually be successful. We can actually do this. And that's an interesting thing when you're actually having to lay the groundwork as if it's a brand new football team, because Jacksonville, once an expansion team, almost feels like now they're restarting from the bottom. I like the fact that Khan said, hey, listen, I want to build a winner here. When he first got to Jags, he said, no fans come. He says, no, well, let's try to steal the cocktail hour people. Let's try to steal the party people. Let's put 2 fucking Vegas pools in the stadium. Let's have DJs up there. Let's do this entire thing. I saw a new energy in the stadium whenever we were going down there and playing against them, but it wasn't filling up, mostly because if you don't win in the NFL or in anything, nobody's going to care. Yeah. Khan said, I'll spend all the fucking money. I'll reset the entire wide receiver market. I'll reset every single position market that we need to. I just want a winner. I'll bring in Doug Peterson and his visor. They looked terrible last night, but the conversations on the sideline with the players who are going to matter this upcoming season for the Jacksonville Jaguars seemed optimistic.
Very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty good.
Trevor Lawrence, ETN, all the boys, they were talking like, yeah, it's been nice having Peterson in here and knowing the whys. The way they were talking about Trevor Lawrence having like a year or two like Peyton had, where his rookie year he broke the all-time interception record, and then his second year he did well. Joey Burrow in his first year obviously got hurt. They didn't win as many games. In his second year, they go to the Super Bowl. They were putting Trevor Lawrence up there like, hey, this is what Trevor Lawrence can do. I think Jacksonville would be mightily surprised if that was the case, and all of Duval would be fucking pumped if that was the case. I don't know what the expectations are, but I forgot that Trevor Lawrence was a guy.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of forgot that Trevor Lawrence is a dude, and I think that's what I was reminded of last night, even though we will never see them on a national television game unless they get really good later in the season. They can get flexed into Sunday Night Football. So last night we didn't learn much, but we got a chance to experience some NFL football. We hit some bets.
Yeah,
that's the way we start.
Here we go.
The overhit, which was late. I had to watch all the way until about 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in that game to make sure the first bet of the season, one in which I did regret immediately upon watching some of the way football was being played. Like,
In the rain
and the delay. And hey, that new Sunday Night Football operation had to fill.
Yeah, they did have
Football Night in America, Sunday Night Football had to fill. First night on the job. Jason Garrett, excited to see what he becomes on TV. Had a lot of energy. Was super positive. Look, that smile thing, I think, is real.
Oh, yeah.
He's always smiling.
I'm permanently stuck on his face.
It scares me, to be honest.
Well, at Tone Diggs, you're a bit of a negative person because you're one half of the Hammer Dahn Cowboys, which is maybe the most negative duo on the entire internet somehow. But I thought Jason Garrett did well. First night on the job, getting thrown in there to break down teams of the past, of the future, their seasons, who did what. I liked what he did there. Little sooty, right? A little bit. I felt a little sooty last night, but it was the Hall of Fame game, and a delay wasn't expected. Tirico's so smooth. Collinsworth's going to do his thing. Learned a lot of stuff, but it was our first time seeing the new Sunday Night Football crew, because they got a new executive producer, I believe. They got a new head person. They got new people on the Football Night in America cast. So this is them debuting as well. How'd the refs do last night? I don't remember.
Well,
blocking it back on that punt.
I do think calling the roughing of the passer while he's in his throwing motion, I hope we're not doing that.
Oh, you're saying setting the tone a little bit in a week.
I hope we are not doing that again.
Did you enjoy the game last night, Tone Diggs? You hit both the Oakland Raiders.
Hell yeah.
Whoa. Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
Holy shit.
It looked like Oakland last night.
I'm a bad guy. A lot of Oakland fans there because, Hall of Fame.
Of course.
Talk about the history.
That's right.
Seeing, I was honoring them. I was paying tribute to the
The
history.
great legends of the past.
Mark Davis's squad, eating his wings up there. He's going high wings. What are the best wings in town? Hey, Josh, you grew up here? You played high school football here? What are the best wings in town? I'm going to give him my suite. Them are just so happening to show him mid.
God.
Perfect.
On purpose.
Yes.
Football Night in America, Sunday Night Football still has their fastball.
Oh, yeah.
They saw Mark Davis in a moment where they could pinpoint Mark Davis being awesome, and they did just that.
Get him.
Him eating a flat, too. Not even, wasn't a wing, it was a flat.
Yep.
So it's the most awkward thing to eat.
Two-hander.
And you have Mark Davis do it. I mean, that is content gold.
Yeah, great moment.
Perfection.
Hey, Josh, what's the best wings in town?
place you were talking about.
That was amazing. That was a cool story for Josh McDaniels. Yeah. But we knew the Raiders were going to win, right? Knew the over was going to hit. I mean, that was never in question, right?
We talked about it. We looked at the quarterbacks. We knew McDaniels was going to try harder than Peterson because it was his hometown. He had 100 tickets, 100 people there to watch him. We knew which way it was going to go as far as that was concerned. I was a little – so Doug took a year off and said, I think the visor's holding me back. I'm switching to fucking full hat.
I know. They would look terrible, too. The Jaguars looked terrible. They looked very – and granted, this is a Hall of Fame game. So I wasn't even going to play in the Hall of Fame game. I was a now specialist team to play last night, Logan Cook. Hey, let's go, Logan.
There we go.
He hit literally I think it was 57-yard bomb on the sideline, first punt of the game.
Yeah.
He had to be so pumped for that. So this is how we're starting the season. Oh, okay, now we're just going to do this every single time now going forward. Good for him. Carlson and A.J. Cole, fucking studs over there for Vegas. They all got a chance to put on a show. I love that whole thing, but we have no idea what any of these teams are going to look like. Last night was zero indication of anything other than the fact that maybe Josh McDaniels doesn't like Josh Jacobs. At Boston Connor, are we being dramatic and bullshit sports media right now talking about this? He got a lot of burn. Josh Jacobs was getting the ball a lot last night. He was on the field with nobody that we knew.
Yeah, definitely not an overreaction. I mean, we have to keep in mind that he is still from New England, and what does New England do? They use, 2-3 running backs, and then when those running backs come to the end of their contract, they go somewhere else and get paid. So I don't know if Josh Jacobs is still on his rookie deal. Or
he is.
Last year.
Yeah, so he's on his last year.
Right?
Yeah, that was talked about. That was the big thing last night, actually, and that was when I think as he was playing, I don't know if it was Collinsworth or Tirico said they did not pick up his fifth-year option. They declined to do so. So playing with a lot on the line or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, are they trying to tell us that, the reason why he's playing right now and they didn't pick up his option is is Josh Jacobs on his way out of town?
Showcasing him.
Yeah, they are almost. Hey, he's a monster.
Yeah, he's very good. And that's
very, very good.
Probably why they were showcasing him, just because McDaniels is going to use Kenyon Drake. He'll probably use Amir Abdullah, who had a touchdown, and he won't be as pivotal or as a focal point, I feel like, as Josh Jacobs has been.
They talked about the Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller lineup and who's going to cover Devontae, who's going to cover the other guys, who are you going to double? I think it's very, very smart. Carr and Devontae being interviewed, Carr seems super comfortable as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
He feels very, as he should. He's a guy, right? If he gets going,
Yes.
they've won
Oh, yeah.
a lot of games. Derek Carr's won a lot of games. And I always go back to this, and I feel bad about it. But literally, when he was in MVP conversation, one of the last games of the season, Christmas Eve, actually, he got his knee twisted off the bone, basically, and he was out, had to go to surgery, and then the team moves and everything changes. It's like, I don't know if Derek Carr has ever probably felt like I've gotten a full opportunity at this thing with all the turnover. Remember when Gruden was there, him and Gruden hate each other.
Yeah.
That was all. We don't know if that's real. I'm just saying that's what the conversation was. Derek Carr had to answer questions about whether or not
Immediately, right when he got
this guy
hired.
hates him. Yeah, he's calling this like that. Derek Carr, I bet you, is in a spot where he's like, all right, we got a fucking coach who's been there, done that, and won things. I got a weapon back from college. I didn't know they've been working out for the last 6-7 years together. They are like very, very,
Oh, yeah,
very,
like
very
best friends almost.
Timing pretty easy, pretty quick to pick up. I watched a clip of Devontae doing some shake, and as soon as he turned, the ball was right there. I'm like, damn, I didn't know you just have chemistry, long distance chemistry for like 10 years or whatever. And they're like, no, they've been working out last 6-7 years. Hunter Renfro's an absolute dog. He just got paid. He's still going to do it. Terrible. He's very conservative with his money.
Clearly.
Gets tiny little baby Ubers in Ohio whenever he has to, get the boys from point A to point B. There's a few $100 million in the back seat of a Civic in Canton, Ohio, because Hunter Renfro ran the UberX. You can go ahead and put that up. I mean, Devontae Adams just signed the biggest contract in wide receiver history just a couple months ago. Derek Carr's been paid 4 times. Hunter Renfro's eating his kneecaps in an UberX while the boys are just dying in the back. Good chemistry here.
Good chemistry.
Hey, the team's vibes are high and the offense is going to be good. I like what we saw from the Raiders last night, even though nothing means anything.
I saw
from the Hall of Fame game.
some worry on the internet and some worry from the booth, maybe, because I guess there were a couple starters for the Raiders on the line going, and there was a lot of pressure to start the game that their O-line may be their weakness, and they need to maybe address that before the season
They had some
starts.
big dudes on that offensive line. I saw
Leatherwood out of Alabama was the first-round pick. He's played tackle and guard. I think he's back at tackle. He started last night. I think he's a worry for them, is what you're hearing.
Oh, he's a worry.
Allegedly.
Oh, no, we got worries
Yeah, we
already
got
after the
worries.
Hall of Fame game.
Not great, but I mean, like you just said, if Derek Carr is throwing the ball to Devontae Adams out of a break.
Yeah, the box is going to be light.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll just be slinging it, and that's why, like, if they get rid of the running back too, a couple dump offs, the typical New England offense, like McDaniels always.
To who?
does.
To Josh Jacobs?
Kenyon Drake. I mean, Kenyon Drake's a stud. I
Yeah,
feel like
he's
when
so
he,
fast,
Yeah,
too.
when he played last year. And the Derek Carr, like Devontae thing, is not the same because there's much more time in between. But isn't this kind of like Burrow and Chase, where they were, best friends in college? And
That was 1 year difference.
Yeah, it was very quick.
It's been like, what, 10 years?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
long
been
time. Long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time. But them training together, I did not know that was taking place. What a moment. What a story for them. Stinks for the Packers, obviously, losing
Yeah.
Devontae. Feels like it's really working out. But that AFC West is going to be a problem. Every team is good, and every team has to be good, because if not, you're going to get embarrassed and run out of your division for the next 5-10 years. Everybody seems to be young and talented. It's going to be awesome to watch. Ty, I understand that fatherhood is new. Jesus.
What the hell was that?
Goddamn pack.
Fell in my back pocket.
Right?
Well, I got to put it in the front, but if I put it in the front, I move my hand and I hit it, and the volume goes all the way up, and I blow out.
Both
eardrums.
So it's like a cartoon when they send electricity in through people's ears and
Sure.
their brain.
Yeah,
like,
yep.
That's what it feels like when I hit this thing accidentally. So, I mean, at this stage of the game, I should have it figured out. I do not. Much like most of this show. But Ty, you're a brand new father, obviously. It's your first time experiencing NFL football with the baby. Were you able to watch the game? I know you're up. Did you get to see the end of the game? Do you watch the highlights? What was your watching action, and how do you think the season's going to go?
Yeah, I did see the overhit. I watched the start of the game. I saw the first pass for Stidham. I thought he was going to uncork it 50 yards, and he threw it about 65 yards straight up, came down, was not to the guy he was throwing to. That was kind of
Completion.
Yeah, completion. I was like, all right, well,
That
okay.
guy was going to be, you were marching for that guy.
I mean, yeah.
Studham's his name.
Yeah.
He's going to lead the Patriots after Tom Brady.
I was proven right last night, too. He was fucking spitting the ball. I mean, did you see him get loose and run that ball in from, 12 yards out? The guy's got burners.
There was times last night where I was watching where my wife and I were chatting, and I'm like, NFL football is a lot better than this, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't waste my entire year talking about a league that is like this, right? I didn't see much NFL football last night.
No.
The punters, couple NFL punts. Kickers, couple NFL kicks, couple non-NFL kicks as well. Couple rushes, I guess, that appeared to be there. But aside from that, there wasn't much NFL football last night, right? I'm not
No. I mean, like I checked.
Okay, thank you.
I checked.
Like
in on
Stidham
it.
sucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Stidham wasn't good.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, he should be a starter.
Because as I was watching him, I was like, do I have this, what is that, dysmorphia about
Yeah.
what NFL football is? Because
Right.
we've been so far away from NFL football while I was watching last night. And then I saw Stidham, and I remember everything you were saying about Stidham at one point.
Dog.
And I was watching him play that first play.
Yeah.
I think that first play, that kind of like, okay, so that was XFL football.
That's what I said. I was like,
That was XFL football.
I was
right
like,
there.
I got maybe the rest of this series in me. Like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not watching the whole first quarter. And then
I watched
seeing
the
where-
whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Hell
yeah.
Literally did not stop.
Hell yeah.
Watched all the way till 4 minutes and 15 seconds. And the amount of, like, I thought we had wasted a show a lot of times. I'm like, why do we dedicate the entire show to this league? This shit's happening. There was some bad football last
Absolutely.
night, but we can't expect anything out of it. They just got to camp. Nobody that's good is playing. They got 90 people on the roster. The top 30 aren't playing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not NFL play, but we're back in NFL season.
Exactly.
You
We're
know,
in NFL season.
Take it for what it's worth.
you know what week one of the NFL is going to be like because it's the same.
I
every
hope
year.
so.
It's
Last night I was
unreal.
like, I'm
No.
misremembering.
But it's also like that's why like I'll it's fun to see the stuff from like camp come out, like guys who you haven't maybe seen before who are like making a play or whatever. But largely, like especially with the Packers and like the way Rodgers is, it's like I don't care. You're just hoping that you don't see something that says like he gets hurt or someone gets hurt because outside of that, it's just like hey. They're getting their work in. I don't need to watch a fucking preseason game to see it. He's probably not going to play anyway. So it's nice having it
Aaron's
packed.
definitely
but
not going to play.
No.
He has maybe been the loudest about preseason games being the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody agrees with him.
Yeah.
Everybody that is a veteran in the NFL agrees with everything that Aaron is saying publicly and other guys are saying publicly. But when the back-to-back MVP says, his preseason games, they're not worth a fuck. I
Yeah.
don't care. The bland defenses, nobody's really playing. We don't have full units. Practice mean much more. We can temper, we can control. There's a lot less likeliness of somebody getting hurt because somebody isn't trying to feed their families on the other side and maybe taking less shots. Like that's how every veteran in the NFL feels about preseason games. And it feels like that has now become the GM's mindsets as well, a lot of the coaches' mindsets as well. NFL media and us included, we try to, because when you buy season tickets, you're forced to buy the two preseason tickets
right.
as well. Same exact price as the regular season tickets. So that's a whole conversation in of itself. But these games, we got to try to, because there is stories that come out of there.
Yeah, for
Ronnie
sure.
Harrison told a story last night about how he ran down on a kickoff, blew somebody up, and basically made the team because of it, because of the Hall of Fame game, because of preseason game. There are legendary tales that come out. But those are like one out of every 600 guys
Yeah.
Right.
that happens. So when you're watching every preseason game, it's hard to be like, you know what, that one big play on special teams is what's going to propel this guy into a 10 or 15-year career in the moment, mostly because all the terrible football that's happening around it. So we will continue to try to stay focused on preseason football, but I think it's going to be tough.
Well, and having Hard Knocks on Tuesday will make it easier because that at least engages you for the next, 5 weeks of the preseason. Because it's like, hey, who do the Lions have this weekend that we might get to see footage of on Hard Knocks?
Did
So,
you
like,
see that DJ Chark
Yeah.
catch?
Unreal.
I mean, they're talking, there's a lot of Jared Goff stuff taking
Yep.
place. They got great angles on it. Looks like the Lions are having a great training camp. And tell you what, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to put on a show.
wait.
He's going to put on a show.
He's doing up downs already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's mic'd up doing up downs on Hard Knocks,
Taking
episode
notes.
1. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, I'm thinking he is.
So I think we're going up to Colts training camp.
Ooh.
And going to do a one-day show from up there. I think we're trying to figure out the logistics, the internet, the camera. Sure. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but it's when the Lions are in town.
Yeah.
Yes.
August 18th.
Gonna try to get MCDC on the show whenever we go up there.
Have to.
What's he saying as soon as he
Yeah,
sees
he'll
us?
probably walk by. Oh, they're letting anyone in here, huh, man? Good to see you guys, man.
You really will.
Yeah, probably something
Verbatim.
along those lines.
Look what the cat dragged
Yeah.
in, man.
Oh, well, look at these guys. Never thought I'd see these guys here, man.
Yes.
We love him.
Yeah, he's the best.
That's the best.
These
the
are
best.
compliments, and this is exactly how we do expect it to go.
Yeah.
If it does not happen, we will
gonna be disappointed.
We will inform
Yeah,
everybody
I know.
of what the actual interaction is. Let's pivot a little bit to tomorrow night.
Ooh.
Tomorrow night, what are you doing, Ty?
Tomorrow night, I don't know, maybe. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Oh,
I don't
really?
have anything on the books.
You don't have anything on the
No,
board?
not yet.
Well, you got your baby, obviously.
I do.
It's going to take up a lot of the time, I think.
I'm trying to find something to watch. I don't know.
Oh, you're going to try to find something to watch?
Yeah.
Wow. Connor and I
Yeah.
have some good news for you.
Okay.
Goddamn right.
Diggs also says, hey, Ty, listen up. pal.
Yeah, I'm
Buckle
listening.
up.
Tomorrow night, the second ever Ice Wars pay-per-view.
Oh, done. Done.
Fight.tv. There will be another round. This time, instead of all heavyweights, it'll be the
Cruiserweights.
They will be battling for ice, fight, hockey, fight, supremacy. Woo!
Ice Wars.
Ice is war. There's a rink on or a crown on the line
Yep.
and a big check on the line. And the man that's putting it all together is obviously famous from the Netflix documentary series following the Trashers in Danbury from a incredibly iconic Italian family. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Gallaudet. How are you? There it is! That's what they're fighting for!
Let's go.
Put on the skates! Go to Edmonton and fight for that crown. How you doing, AJ?
I'm doing well, guys. And Pat, starting out, incredible performance, SummerSlam last week. I was so excited to see you. Awesome as always, man.
Well, I appreciate that. Your text message hit me right here in the heart, and I do appreciate you keeping in touch and watching along because I know you have to be super busy. I mean, tomorrow night, you got your second event going on. How do you feel? Did you learn from the first one? Obviously, the first pay-per-view made waves across the internet with the magical moments and maybe creating a new sport. Not easy to do. Tomorrow's your second event. How do you feel going into it, and what should we expect, pal?
Listen, I mean, honestly, I knew the first event wasn't going to be perfect. I mean, literally, when you starting a sport from scratch, I mean, it's never going to be perfect. But I was shocked with just the outpour of. I expected it to be 50-50, positive, negative, but I would say it was like 80-20, positive.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Maybe even higher.
it's
I'd say.
you know, it's a lot of fun, man. We're creating personalities. Okay, it's a serious sport, but we're not a stuffy sport. You know, I'm involved in boxing every day, day-to-day basis, and it's too stuffy now. Boxing, you don't see the fights you want to see anymore. It's crazy. These guys are a different breed. All these Ice Warriors, I mean, these guys are they're must-see TV. They really are, and I'm super excited for tomorrow.
All right, sir, we were going to call you back to get a better connection. I think it's on our side. We will reconnect the International Ice Wars second event tomorrow in Edmonton, Canada. Fight.tv to order that and watch that. The first one, it literally showed up on every clip social media site as what is this?
Yeah.
And it was two massive dudes wearing full hockey equipment in a condensed octagon ice rink, skating up to each other and then just throwing bombs at each other. Rock 'em, sock 'em, hockey robots, basically.
Yes.
Just punching in the face. And if there was a tie, they would just immediately go to, all right, sudden death, you guys just fight again. It was all hockey fighters, former hocky fighters, a lot of Canadians in there because everybody up there knows how to skate.
Yes,
I think
right.
that's- Because that's a big part of it because you're on ice. So he who has the best balance on the ice normally has the better advantage in the ice hockey fight. Isn't that right, Ty?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's what I'm excited. Cruiserweights, you know, these guys are a little bit lighter, so they're not going to tire out as much as, you know, the bigger guys might. They're gonna, I assume they're going to be chucking hands until one of them goes down.
We saw the Karate Kid last night by
Abdullah.
Yes.
That's right.
Attaboy, Foxy. Welcome back, Foxy.
Baby Foxy.
Good job, Fox.
Boy, Fox.
Anyways, that was pretty sick.
Yeah. Little kick.
I mean, very smooth with it.
Cassius
Yeah.
Marsh.
Boom. Full like
Whoa.
Cassius Marsh was, you know, a little bit too big ball dance in Corinthi's
Yeah,
face.
right.
Obviously.
This one very smooth. Not that. Hey, by the way, Cassius, do your dance. Do your dance. Do whatever you got to do. But the
Put that shit on.
that
dance, baby.
that spin kick was very smooth.
Yeah, awesome.
Unreal.
What if one of these cruiserweights comes out and says, "Hey, listen, I got a little Nathan Chen in me. What if there's some figure skating?
Skate to the throat.
Slit the throat. Yeah.
Skate to the throat.
Holy shit.
Join us again,
Bleeding guts.
founder out west.
Let's go.
Slice the guy's head
Is
off.
there rules on this thing?
Win.
Joining, that's right.
At
Who
all
wants
costs.
the crown?
Yeah.
Joining us again, the founder of Ice Wars, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Gallaudet. AJ, what's up?
It's truly Ice Wars International. The service is a little shaky up here. I apologize.
Hey, do not. You actually, it gave us a good time to just kind of dabble into a conversation here. So you coming back, perfect timing. Don't worry about it at all. We're appreciative. So with the cruiserweights this time, as opposed to the heavyweights, I know there's a couple heavyweight fights tomorrow night. I don't want to undersell the card at all that you put together. It's hey, this card is fucking
top
stacked.
notch.
But it's more cruiserweights. Is there any like you can't just spin to skate to throat, right? Can't kick, no kicking in this, yeah?
No, not if we want to get sanctioned in the States. Not yet. But you never know what could happen. But no, it's listen, it's prize fighting on ice. It's basically just punches. And yeah, that's really it. I mean, the first show, like I said, I mean, I didn't personally know what to expect. I mean, it's like whoever thought of the first football game, you know, they didn't know what to expect 1,000 years ago. I mean, it was these guys were throwing, man. I mean, it was just rock 'em, sock 'em, 1 minute rounds. You don't have time to play around, dance around. And I mean, we had guys averaging 40 punches a minute, which is, you know, almost a punch a second, really. I mean, it's insane. These guys are like piston like fist. It's insane.
Okay, so let's run through the card because no fights have been set up yet, right? Are we keeping that where it'll kind of be at weigh-ins? Everybody will find out who they're fighting the next day. Is that still the way it's going?
Yeah, we have a couple pre-match bouts this time around because it did, you know, again, we're learning on the go, really. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where the commissions, the regulations, we kind of have some things pre-match, but a lot of it is a mystery until tonight when we have the weigh-ins. And I think it's good. You keep the guys on their toes and they don't have much time to strategize. Really.
Yeah, and they all have the same knowledge. So as long as everybody doesn't know, it's all good, I think. Let's run through some of these fighters. Yeah. This is Bosch Filthy, I believe, or Bosch Filth. Braden Boschman. Ooh. Hey, he throws bombs, dude. Yeah. He gets on the ice and he goes, AJ, what do you know about the Bosch Filth?
Yeah, man, he's a big boy. He's making his Ice Wars debut. He wanted to come in on the first show. We just didn't have a slot for him. Really excited for him. I mean, he's a big boy. I think he's like 280. Yeah. I mean, he's throwing bombs, and you know, he's been in hockey a long time, and he knows how to handle himself out there.
Braden's looking to fucking break some faces.
Yeah, he's a coal miner.
Let's go to the next. Absolutely. Then you got Night Train, Dustin Thompson. Hometown, Edmonton, Alberta, where the fight will be. Yeah. Look for the Night Train to bring a big train of followers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Look at Dustin Thompson right here. Is everybody from Edmonton, or am I, is there a couple hometown favorites?
No, we have about 4 guys from Edmonton. The rest are kind of scattered throughout. We have 3 guys from the States. We got a kid from Patty Wack, Keegan McGraw from Detroit. We got a Windy City kid, Chicago kid in there, and we got a kid from California. So slowly migrating up north and adding a couple guys from the States. But like I said, man, they're all ready to go, all ready to bang. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, here's bad news, Jody Peterson.
I like this guy.
That's the dark horse of this tournament.
Yeah.
Jody Peterson. He's a little older, but he's the dark horse. I'm telling you, this kid, he could run the table, and he's going to be fun to watch. He's all action. I saw these guys send me their old fight videos, and they're all so grainy. It's hard to tell, but this kid's coming to fight.
So is that how you pick these fighters? They kind of audition by sending you fights, say, hey, I'm an electric fighter, I will throw hands in there. Is that what, and I know how to skate. Is that how this all gets pieced together? Are you doing a lot of recruiting, or are people coming to you now?
A little bit of both. After the first show, the next day, I mean, we had like 40 entries. Like, it was insane. And we're getting a crossover now. We got a professional boxer out of Edmonton here. He's 2-0 cruiserweight. Blake Anderson, his nickname, greatest nickname, Shakin' Blake. So Shakin' Blake Anderson is a 2-0 pro boxer. He knows how to skate. He knows how to skate. He hasn't played hockey in years, but he's like, listen, I need to fight. I want to fight. I can't get a boxing fight right now, so this is the next best thing. So we're getting a lot of crossover appeal right now, which is a lot of fun.
And the crown is up for grabs, obviously. How much money, too? Did we see a check in there at one point? Is there money going to these winners or just free beers and a crown?
Right.
Oh, yeah, no, they all get paid. Even the single bouts, everyone's getting paid.
Here we go.
Hey, here we go. Good promoter. Look at promoter.
Yeah, you gotta take care of the boys. And listen, we can only be successful if they are. And that's always how I think that's how I was taught. And got to take care of the guys.
Hey, respect, by the way. Tell your dad we said hello. Missed that, man. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
AJ, we got any kind of like fight of the night bonuses? Like, are you kind of telling these guys going in like, hey, listen, I know everyone wants to take home the crown, but I need someone getting knocked out in this fight?
Absolutely. I mean, last fight, I mean, we were giving guys bonus. I mean, there was guys that had just crazy fights, even if they were on the losing end. You always try to help. I mean, our budget isn't huge for these initial shows, but as we grow, we want the guys to we want the purses to grow, the prize money to grow. But there's definitely some incentive stuff out there. And we do have a ranking system, which is a whole nother story. And really there's incentive to be, ranked high. You get, higher minimums and guarantees. So we're trying any way we can help the guys make a little extra. That's what we're hoping to do.
Anybody come in there and just say, hey, I have no fucking idea how to skate, but I throw big hands. Because skating is like, what, the most important part of this?
It definitely is. It looks easy, but I mean, it's to fight with 20 pounds of equipment on you too, and to have the balance and to have to throw punches. The conditioning is insane. I've definitely got some interesting inquiries where the wrestling promoter in me wants to throw them in there, but we're gonna wait a little bit with some of these guys. But we got some interesting guys down the pipeline for sure.
Hey, it would be awesome to put you in there, but. Have you ever put skates on in your life?
Come on, sorry.
You will get bodied out there. I mean, that whole thought is we need to get Rupper in there.
Yeah, we need Rupper.
I mean, Big Rupp. Could you imagine Big Rupp, former trasher in there?
Hey, listen, we're open. Listen, don't be surprised. See, the funny thing is a lot of these NHL guys, I'm not talking about Rupper, but they on the down low. They hit me up. They like what we're doing. They can't really put it out there that they like what we're doing, the way the sport of hockey is right now. But they're watching, and don't be surprised within the first 5 shows we can get kind of a big headliner in there. And I try to tell people, I argue every day with these morons on Twitter. We're not hockey. There's nothing about us.
Don't argue with them.
Don't.
AJ, listen, bury one every once in a while just to get it out of your system because I have to do something similar. But don't waste your time with those people. Mute the fuck out of them and keep it moving. Go ahead, Tone.
AJ, is there a lot of head body in this, or is it mostly just head?
Head.
What?
That's a really good question. Believe it or not, it's hard to tell because of so much equipment. There is a lot of body shots. Actually, our main event tomorrow are 2 guys that really threw a lot of body shots the first time around. And like everything else, I mean, it throws guys off kilter. If you're going to the body, your defense is coming down. You got more headshots coming. But yeah, there are guys that have a strategy. There's strategies with jersey jabs. I mean, so yes, it is rock'em sock'em. It's a lot of entertainment, but believe it or not, contrary to belief, there is a strategy depending on who your opponent is, the height, the weight, etc. Exactly, uppercuts. We got a couple guys that are starting to kind of show their style. We only had 1 show, so the returning guys tomorrow, it's going to be interesting to see the consistent strategy they go in with.
Yeah, what was the training? How did they train? Yeah. After doing what they thought it was going to be, what it ended up being, how'd they change their training? Because there's money on the line a crown.
That's right.
There's some people that probably have some jobs that they hate that think to themselves, hey, I can probably make a little bit of a living here if I can figure out how to get these skates back on these feet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, AJ, last time you were on, you mentioned how one of the fighters could call it a judge. Has there been any judge-on-judge action? Like, are some of the judges getting a little pissed off with each other and maybe disagree with what they're ruling the fights as?
So we haven't had an issue with a judge yet, but it's funny you mentioned that because tomorrow we do have a match between one of the guys who was a referee last show against a guy he officiated with on the ice. There was a little bit of an issue. We had actually Patty Wack Keith McGraw, our kid from Detroit. He fought in the first ever Ice Wars show. He felt that one of the referees was a little biased for whatever reason. I don't know why. The referee, of course, in turn thought that Patty Wack was being a dick. So they're fighting tomorrow. So we have a ref versus player fight tomorrow, and it's going to be very, very interesting. We'll settle it. We'll settle it in the icebox.
I cannot wait to watch. We're incredibly proud of you for putting this together and keeping it going. And I can't wait to see the next event after this one, and we can't wait to watch tomorrow, brother.
Thank you, guys. You guys are the best always. Anything we can ever do.
Yeah.
I mean, some cruiserweights, what if they come out and start doing like
Yeah, spinning
pirouettes.
You know what I mean? Full on. I don't know. Shaking Blake sounds like he's about that fucking business, boss.
Yeah, but Night Train.
Night Train. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Tomorrow night is going to be massive. The Hammer takes on a loose cannon.
Oh, shit.
The Jawbreaker takes on Prime Time.
Hell yeah.
The Bull, I believe his last name is Schmidt, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir.
Takes on Bad News Jody Biederman. I can't believe we remember that. I'm very proud of us. And then Haymaker and Ace is battling Group B. I mean, what a night. We can't wait to watch. Congratulations. It'll be on Fight.tv. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Gallaudet. Hey, tell everybody we said hello. Please tell everybody we said hello. AJ Gallaudet. All right.
Gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Those clips hit the internet afterwards.
Yeah.
After the first one. Which going in, we knew, we're like, it seems like this is like built for clips.
Yeah.
Crush.
Because it's just a setup. You got ice, you got big bodies, and you got a reward for hurting the person in front of you. I mean, it is a recipe for the internet success.
For sure.
Excited to watch what they pull off. All right, we'll get to a break, and then we'll be back on the other side. There's a lot going on in the Deshaun Watson case.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot going on.
going
There's a lot going on in the Alex Jones case.
True.
All right, let's get to a break. We're back in about 4 minutes or so. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to be a part of your afternoon or your morning or your evening, wherever the fuck you are watching. You're the best people on earth. See you in 4. We'll also answer some phone calls on the 5-Hour Energy phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee. AJ Hawk joins us in the second hour. Then Rappaport in the third hour. Should be a great feel-good Friday with a giveaway at the end of it. I hope you are having a blast. See you in 4.
You know, it's just like I'm frustrated with flying cars because I'm obsessed with that. Like, I want a flying car.
Me too.
What I got is my phone instead. It's like, well, the future is on your phone really right now. It's not like literally in front of you. You can't get into a flying car. But, you know, your phone has it all. It's like, I don't want this phone. I'm not going to have this phone 14 hours a day like you young people do. No, thank you. Like, I'm not from that generation. But, you know, give me a flying car. You know? and honestly, when we shut down the Mars missions, you know, we were supposed to be going in 2024, and we shut it down. But a lot of people don't realize is, you know, from here to the moon is 208,000 miles roughly. You know, 200. So you can think about that. Well, in this country, you know, a long road trip could be 4,000 miles, and you know how far it is to Australia. You know, so 200,000 miles. You know, that you think about that, and, you know, that's far. But like Mars, think about this, is 250 million miles. 250 million miles. So, you know, that's a little different thing because, you know, when you go, you know, it takes about anywhere from, you know, 9 to 11 months to get there, depending on the alignment.
Are you going to fucking Mars?
And so,
Jim, are you going to Mars? It sounds like you're...
I wish I was. You know, maybe you'll have, I think you'll have a chance to do a show from there when you're 80, Pat.
I have a surprise, obviously. That's what this show is all about. We have boots on the ground in Cleveland, who I assume knew this was going to happen all along. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Cleveland, Mr. Jason Glazer. Your thoughts on Kyle Pitts to Atlanta, fine sir? Oh, there's a delay.
Well, first and foremost, Pat, I'd like to say, hey, listen, thanks for having me. Cleveland is beautiful this time of year. Granted, it does smell like a mixture of poop and diarrhea and sewage. It doesn't smell great down here. But I'll tell you what, 27 years in this thing, I fucking live for the draft. Love being down here. Love being into Cleveland. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, listen. What do you want me to say? I knew this 2 weeks ago. Really? I mean, do we need to do this whole fucking song and dance?
Okay.
I'll give you guys 1 through 32 if you want to know. You know, do you want to have fun?
That's nice.
You want to not know who's going? But yeah, I had this 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm wondering is if the guy you had in your studio, Mad Mel Kiper, I know that sorry son of a bitch didn't have this 2 weeks ago.
Mike's not plugged in.
Yes, I did. I actually just explained it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
did.
didn't. No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
did.
No,
I
you
had
didn't.
this.
I did.
Yeah,
I
no,
did.
no, you
I
didn't.
did. You
I
didn't.
had this.
I
I
did.
had
You
it.
didn't.
Trust me. Can
You
I
didn't.
talk for Christ's sake?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
talk? Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah. Like I said, Kyle Pitts,
No, you didn't.
unbelievable talent.
No, you didn't. You didn't fucking
Yes,
have
I
it.
did.
You're
You
a bad sack of shit,
Jason.
Kiper. I know it. I looked at your mock draft.
Jason, please relax. Oh my God. Had no idea it was going to get like that. Sorry about that, Mad Mel. Obviously, there's a little bit of content there. He's saying you don't know your ass for a fucking hole in the ground, though, Mad Mel. How do you feel about that from Jason Glazer live in Cleveland?
Well, classic move. You know, Glazer looks like he's getting ready to go to a goddamn titty bar or something like that. I mean, dress up, pal. It's the NFL draft. Look at me. I'm dressed to the nines. You know, you look like an asshole. I mean, get him out of here, can we? I mean, is he going to stick around? Can we get him the hell out of here?
I think is his microphone still on? Jay, can you hear us? Jay, is everything good back there?
Listen, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to hang out with Dee Snyder and Twisted Sister.
Are you serious? Okay, Jason, sorry. Thank you so and ladies and gentlemen, Jason Glazer.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show.
Oh, boy.
This show is awful, and we appreciate you for watching.
Mm-hmm.
Talks Table's right here next to me at Boston Connor at Ty Schmidt. You guys okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Everything okay?
Hey, look, we're not going to take, off-air conversations on here. This is an NFL network.
I mean, Rapport got dragged into that.
Yes, he did.
Oh, my God. I mean, you're talking full on. Not that our off-air was anything
not
close to
despicable.
that.
Kidding me?
We never... our off-air conversations are always somehow dumber than what's happening on air.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, when you guys see us and hear us, it's actually us tightened up a little bit. These are more serious takes. Bad news, Peterman.
Oh, can't wait.
God.
Oh my God.
Cannot wait.
He is gonna fucking destroy somebody tomorrow night on the ice.
A kid from Detroit fighting the referee. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Love that guy.
That's what I'm here for. I can't wait to see that.
Obviously, this room, upon learning that the International Ice Wars, you can just look at a ref and say,
Fuck you. Let's go right now.
we started putting that in other sports.
Yeah.
Obviously, in this room. And that's why we can't be taken seriously. But we do appreciate AJ Gallaudet for stopping by. And we wish him good luck on his second rugby tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
At Tone Diggs is here. One half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys. Tone, gambling trends this year, what are they? What is the big gambling trend this year? Is it because I feel like what I've been hearing a lot of people talk about is AFC West can have 3 teams that make it. NFC West can have 3 teams that make it. Is that what everybody's the big gambling trend this year, or what is the thought, you think?
I think so far this year, and we've done a couple division previews so far on Hammer Dahn, is that everyone's
We kind of left you hanging there.
everyone's
You.
Yeah.
Said it so quick.
Oh, I wasn't looking for it. Yeah, everyone's schedule in the AFC is fucking absurd.
Yeah.
Like it feels as if there's definitely going to be a 9-8 like ish teams that get in. Like I don't think you're going to see, because I think there's going to be so many teams beating each other. I don't think like 10-7 or even like 11-6 is going to be the last spot in the playoffs. I think it's definitely going to be like a 9-8 team, and I think there's going to be a lot of blood in the AFC.
So in the NFC, then you're thinking probably better records throughout the season in the NFC than the AFC.
Yeah, definitely.
But once we get to super wild card weekend, we should not let that bear any type of say on anything, because the AFC is treacherous from top to bottom.
Like the NFC, besides it's the West, I think it's much more top heavy. Like the Bucks, the Packers,
Rams.
I think it's much more top heavy. But like when we've had guests comes on and say like they see like 7-8 teams that can win the AFC. I agree with that. Like it's treacherous. I think those are the main betting trends that I've seen so far.
Hey, we appreciate that, Tone.
Tony.
Let's talk about a man who is the greatest general manager in the history of the NFL and the greatest head coach in the history of the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking about two people. I'm talking about one particular person who has found his home in numerous places. He's born and raised, I believe, in the Navy Academy through his dad coaching football. Then he obviously bounced around famously with the Giants and then with the Browns and then with the Jets and then landing in New England when Kraft hired him to be the head coach. I don't know if he was immediately the GM as well, immediately upon being hired.
I'm not sure. I assume probably, though.
That's awesome that he just wrote on a piece of paper, hey, I'm no longer a coach here. I'm going to go be the GM and the head coach of a team up north a little bit. And that obviously turns into this storybook franchise dynasty that will never be I'm going to say it, and this is very like Daily Sports Show hosty of me to say. What we saw the Patriots do with Tom Brady as the quarterback and Bill Belichick as the head coach and GM, we will never see again in the NFL.
No chance.
Nope.
With how much money, with the way contracts are going, with the way salaries are going, with the way retirements are going. Retirements are getting younger and younger now. Not just at big positions, but think about other key positions around the Patriots where players played probably for a long time as role players. Those guys probably retire a lot earlier if they get some money nowadays because there's a lot more opportunity for guys, I think, as opposed to in the past. So I just don't believe we'll ever see what the Patriots did for 20 years ever again in any sport. I just don't think it'll ever happen. And the man that was the mastermind behind it all, allegedly, is maybe the most electrifying character in the entire NFL.
By far.
It'll be tough to not, talk about this man long after he's away from the game. Because every time he touches a microphone, it is a soundbite.
Yeah.
It is a clip. It is insightful. It is riveting. It is Bill Belichick being Bill Belichick. We have a new segment! Kind of looks like Bull Belichick on the bottom there because it's a ticker.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Bill Belichick being Bill Belichick is already in midseason form, and we shall spotlight it. Here's the greatest GM and the greatest head coach answering questions after practice just a couple days ago.
Bill, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. We're just trying to have a good training camp here.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Stands there.
Did you have any idea the Dolphins were tampering with your starting quarterback that season?
Yeah, I'm focused on training camp here. That's all in the past.
I don't know if you heard me before the 10-second awkward silence that I just stood here right in your faces. But, I'm not telling you a damn thing. Yeah, sure. And then somebody was like, you know what, Bill? I want to get your thoughts on fantasy football. And this is what Bill did.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really have any opinion on that because fantasy football doesn't mean anything to me. Like, we're just trying to win games out here, and so I don't know who's hot, who's not, who wins, who doesn't. Like, I don't really care about that. I just care about whether we win. So,
fuck off.
Yeah, I have fun with that.
This guy cannot be bothered by anything.
No, he's the best.
Fuck you, all right? Hey, how about your team's quarterback that you created quite a history with? Potentially talking to a rival of yours during training camp of that season in which you didn't win the Super Bowl or whatever. Pass it, we don't care.
Yeah, don't give a shit.
Aren't you you passed it, but it's really new news. We just all learned about this like yesterday. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Nope. How about fantasy football? Whoever said that question.
Oh, my God.
Is it the kid from that City of Steel Sports podcast that asked that question? The kid that had to sell the team shirt on next to the owner of the fucking team?
I doubt it.
Is it that kid? Because
I
whoever
hope
asked
not.
about that.
Better question.
But I do like the fact that the way he broke down fantasy football a little bit sounded like maybe he did. No, he doesn't know anything about it, right? What did it sound like, Ty?
Listen, I don't know who's
high floor, number 2 receiver. I don't know, what flex guy, I'm going to play this weekend. I don't know who I'm sitting, who I'm starting. I don't know who Matthew Berry's telling me to pick up on the waiver wire. I don't play fantasy football, so fuck off.
Sounds like you know a lot about it, though. I mean, you just dropped like a lot of lingo there for.
Well, I mean, it depends if we're doing, full point PPR, half point PPR, 2 quarterback league. I don't know, snake draft, auction draft, all these things. Again, I don't give a fuck about fantasy football. We're just trying to, be a better football team here today.
It sounds like you know a lot about it. I think you would also be a great fantasy football owner, Bill Belichick. Have you ever thought about dabbling? A lot of money in it, Bill. Don't know if you know that.
No, we're just trying to get better on the football field. I mean, if I was in, a 14, 16 team league, I'd probably make the playoffs, be the number 1 seed, dominate the waiver wire, and, get a couple guys you've never heard
Once
of.
again, it sounds like you know a lot about. Are you playing?
No, man. Well, again, fuck fantasy football. I don't play fantasy football. I play real football out here. So have fun with that.
We do have to clarify to the listeners on radio that was not actually Bill Belichick.
No, it wasn't.
Bill Belichick did not call into the show. That was Ty basically reciting what he heard Bill Belichick say there. The who's hot, who's not, like that's all fantasy football lingo, right?
Oh yeah.
I love that he dropped some in there just to give a little sprinkle of like, hey, fantasy football nerds, if I wanted to, okay? If I wanted to. But follow up with that being said, I don't give a fuck about what you're doing. I won a game 9-3 last year. We ran the ball 75 times straight. I don't care about nothing. But I do love that people are asking them. And I do love that forever and ever, Bill Belichick is going to be what? Bill Belichick. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Tell you what, man. That guy doesn't say anything, man. He doesn't say anything to anybody, man. The best. MCDC's not like that. That's why Hard Knocks is going to be incredible.
Oh, yeah. So good.
Hey, we're a big segment show now.
Yeah,
no
huge.
big deal.
We're a big segment.
This whole week.
Growth.
We don't have enough time for the next segment that we put together.
That's just the blocks.
Well, not just hard outs actually.
Oh yeah.
But also because we have like 3.5 minutes till the hard out, and there's no way the next segment we are only going to do 3.5.
No.
That was huge.
That might be
Dedicate a little time to that one.
A whole hour.
That might be a 25-minute seg, which goes against everything that the TV and radio people say. Don't need. It's not a segment if you're doing an entire block. That's just a show.
It's just long-winded.
Well, we're sorry. That's our segs.
Yeah.
We're doing
Yeah,
that.
that's how we do.
Thanks to Bill, by the way, for giving us a seg.
Love you, Bill.
Pretty good at sex.
We are
What?
pretty good at
Yeah.
segs.
Seg it up.
Actually, Miles Teller said that. Remember?
Oh yeah. Sweet seg.
Hey,
That's-
you're good at
He
sex?
did.
You guys crush it at sex.
Segue.
Cool seg.
Miles Teller, good guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I don't
Enjoyed
even
him.
like the fact that I hated him for numerous months. Like deep in my soul,
That'll happen.
did not like him.
You didn't have a choice.
Huh?
You didn't have a choice.
I know, but like, I feel bad about it now that I've got to meet him and see his work and know who he is. I didn't know who he was before the whole throw me under the tabloid bus around the entire globe because he was actually assaulted terribly, but that was not the story that I was told by somebody else that broke the story. So he corrected me, not the people that actually broke the story. And I'm like, why are you throwing me under the bus? Now I got people in Danish telling me I'm a fucking asshole. I don't need that, Miles.
Water under the
Tell you what.
He's a good guy.
He is.
You really want to make it up to him? Watch his best picture. Watch Whiplash this weekend, okay?
Whiplash couldn't hold the fucking jockstrap
You'll
of
see.
Top Gun Maverick. No.
Well, true.
You hear me? What Rooster's doing?
Two
Evan?
very different genres.
Whiplash, you go film.
I don't know what Whiplash is. Obviously, I've never
Great
heard of
movie.
it.
He's like a jazz drummer, and his teacher's like a psychopath. Like,
It's awesome.
Really berates him and stuff.
He's like
that.
insanely talented, huh? This Miles Teller guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
5-tool player.
Pretty good golf. Could dance a little bit. That offer show is unbelievable.
Yeah. Top notch.
Great show.
They can do that again. They can, right?
No, it's done.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do it for a different show.
Well, then it would be a different offer.
Yeah. Offer for like Step Brothers.
This would be like whenever they had how'd that show get picked up?
That'd be cool.
I think it was pretty simple
Yeah, I
sell
think
there.
Will Ferrell wrote it. And
How about him and his guy writing?
Adam McKay.
They're not together. Are they
No.
back?
No way.
Still fun.
Lakers killed him. LeBron
Drake,
killed him.
DJ Khaled, and Lil Baby released a song.
Fucking banger!
Fucking sucks.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa.
I ain't lying on this show about goddamn that music.
You're not having any misinformation in your thoughts.
Not on this program.
I mean, the bars are pretty good in there, pretty soft though. I mean, but that's Drake. That's Drake nowadays.
Yeah, and I say that because I've been listening to a lot of old Drake. And when you listen to the old Drake, and then
straight
hear
from the go Drake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you hear the new Drake, and it's just two different people.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to. I would listen to the song though.
Sure.
There's only so many new songs come out.
No, yeah, for sure.
Calvin Harris just dropped a new album. It's kind of sweet.
Like if you're rolling on MDMA, then like listen to that song.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a couple teas too. You want to drink a little bit?
What?
Yeah, but like
what do you say?
I would
hippies.
Yeah.
Burnouts and
rich white
affluent
people,
people who have too much time on their hands. That's what Colin Cowherd said, who does ayahuasca. I mean, pretty valid.
Also, you said is also if you're gonna do ayahuasca, make sure you got a fucking strong woman in your life.
Well, that was his full take. By the way, as we were all listening to it, we were like, damn, how'd somebody's brain do that?
Cowherd still got the fastball.
There were some good band names in there too.
Which favors? No.
Which
rumors?
Yeah,
Which
psychedelic
Which
brews.
rumors
Yeah.
and psychedelic brew. Colin Cowherd is a master of the mic.
Yep.
He was wrong, we thought, but still.
Sure.
We'll be more wrong on the other side. Yep.
Nice.
There it is. That was a good transition.
Yeah,
Great
perfect.
transition.
That was a good transition. Right at the
Best
right on
I've
the
ever
screws
heard.
there. That was an impressive take, though.
Oh yeah.
It was.
As it continued to go, it's like, oh shit! I thought he was maybe reading it. I don't think he was reading it. If that was straight from the brain,
There
to
were
mouth,
layers.
There was. I mean, that was really, really
yeah.
good.
KD and Kyrie brought them into it too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He tied a lot together.
ton.
A ton.
Kyler.
Big Pharma. He even brought.
Yeah,
in.
Big Pharma.
He knows what he's
impressive.
doing.
See, that's something we'll never be able to do.
No.
He knows what he's doing.
He does need a friend in his life though that tries stuff. You know, I think that would be a big
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah, that'd help him out.
I think
Are
so.
you who, Colin?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I believe I also saw from yesterday that he did have someone on the show who was telling a story about the time that they did acid in the club. So,
Well, acid is vastly different.
no, I know, but that's
than like the
Joy?
psychedelics.
no. Butcher.
John Butchergrass?
Rick Bucher.
Yeah.
What's your deal? You
Butcher?
did that on purpose.
Butcher?
Listen, just because I got a guy's Instagram wrong,
Who?
Marcus Aubrey Marcus.
Yeah.
Which
I
one
got
is
that
it?
wrong. Doesn't mean we need to make this a trend.
Which one is
You
it?
just said that guy's name wrong on purpose.
Which one is it?
Well, his social media is. It's what I thought it was backwards, so it'd have to be Aubrey Marcus.
Nailed it.
Yes.
That is
Right?
his name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Founder on it.
Which is
Big bank take little bank.
Yeah.
With the on it. On its workout brand. Bettering
cool.
you.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it was the perfect place to have the conversation for Aaron talking about him bettering himself. Absolutely. With these plant medicines that have been around for thousands of years. But with that being said, it's very clear the people that talk about it, the people who know somebody who's potentially tried it and like done their thing, and then people who don't. And it's a very understandable, by the way.
Well, and what did he say? What did Cowherd say? He said, "Yeah, Aaron, I did the same thing. I had 6 rum and cokes in 30 minutes my freshman year of college.
I puked.
Yeah, and I was a different person on the
I
other
woke
side.
up next morning and
I'm never drinking Captain Morgan again.
yes, that's what he compared
Yeah,
it to.
pretty good.
That was pretty sweet.
Pretty good.
But I think, like, to anybody who has ever met anybody that's ever done anything, you're listening to Colin and you go, oh, Colin, come on.
Not enlightened.
Ah, Colin, come on. You know? I think he just, because I got massive respect for Colin. But I don't know how he hasn't had anybody ever.
We ain't talking about a few pops here, Colin.
Yeah, Colin, this is, just go meet somebody. You know, in LA, they're everywhere, I guess.
Exactly.
Go chat with them, or you can chat with, like, the uber successful people that do it, which are a lot of motherfuckers.
All over the place.
A lot of motherfuckers. It's crazy to think about that. How medicine has evolved so much that now people don't trust it, so they go to things that have been around. Hey, what's older than this new shit that I don't like? Boom, I'm gonna go to this. Things that have allegedly been helping people for thousands of years, and Aaron says definitely helped them. So who cares?
Well, in their plants, they are coming from the ground. It's not like they're being made in factories.
So who put it there?
Jesus Christ.
No.
Whoa.
Couldn't have been. It had to be before him.
Yeah, because Jesus was born in a barn.
Probably.
That barn already had
He was more of a
plants.
fish guy, too.
Probably Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he was keto, so the fish.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Jesus is.
Nah, but he's a big bread guy.
Oh yeah, so he's not keto.
Not keto.
It might have been low carb.
Yeah, could have been.
Because it was his body, right?
Keto bread, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get to a break.
Cauliflower.
AJ Hawk will be with us on the other side.
He'll have some answers.
You think it was cauliflower bread?
Maybe.
And the people that wrote the story just assumed it was basic ass white ass bread.
Cauliflower. Flowers grow in the ground. Ayahuasca grows from flowers. Jesus made ayahuasca.
Well, that would be a debate. Whoever you are saying is choosing right or wrong also created dope too. Guess what?
Yeah, that's right.
What? And whiskey.
Wait.
Well, because rain makes corn.
Yeah.
Corn makes
whiskey.
Cauliflower popcorn.
Ayahuasca's got my girl feeling a little frisky.
My brain.
Well, I don't know. I think
frisky.
it's a.
Not a sex drug.
Yeah, it's the first drug you mentioned.
What's that?
Fucking Midma.
All right, we're back in about 2 minutes here for hour 2 with AJ Hawk, who is Aaron Rodgers' ayahuasca guru.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll ask him more about the Aubrey Marcus conversation and everything happening around the NFL in about 2 minutes with hour 2 on this Feel Good Friday, plus some phone calls. Cheers.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 on this Feel Good Friday, August 5th, 2022. Shall begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. There it is.
Here we go, baby.
Oh no.
You guys been real amateur hour.
I was going to say,
Real Bush League. Looks like
say
we're going to
this
have to go to a little brainstorming session this weekend to see if Here We Go, Ada Baby survives.
Mm-hmm.
Let's Ride really carried us through a couple of weeks of dead time whenever Russell
did.
Wilson decided to debut the greatest call in the history of calls, Broncos country. Let's ride. We picked it up because we were so motivated by it. Then we had to change because we thought we were potentially going to get sued due to copyright infringement of the Denver Broncos. And we tried to go to Here We Go, Add a Baby. Because we are professionals, we're on microphones a lot. You guys can get in sync at the same time. Turns out, cannot. We got to go back to the drawing boards.
Okay.
I don't know if we have to. I think I just need to, snap it, get it together.
Good post-game press conference. This is a good post-game press conference here.
Thank
How
you.
did you think the Here We Go, Add a Baby went for your team today, and how do you make it better, Boston Connor?
Well, I mean, first of all, if I'm pointing fingers, it's right at myself because we came out strong in the first hour and we had it together, and we did a lot of work to get it, where it needs to be. And then, I dropped the ball for the team.
Do you think we should make it easier for you so that if you do potentially get caught up in a break conversation and we're back quickly and your brain isn't immediately thinking of Here We Go, Add a Baby, do you think we should shorten it down for the good of the team? What do you think? For the good of you good for the ganders, good for the goose.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I would never like to do things the easy way, so I don't want to make it easier. I think I just need to, get in the lab, maybe come in here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., sit down right here, and then just run the intro 400, 500, 600 times and do Here We Go, Add a Baby after the beat drop from Dahn.
Yeah, but the timing's always different because of who you're playing with. It's like a band playing live.
That's right.
You got to hear the drummer and the thing. So I don't know if it's 6 a.m. You're going to come in here at 6 a.m.? We didn't know that was Ty. Did you know?
I had no idea.
That
Figured he was going to sleep in tomorrow.
Me too.
Weekend.
Yeah, right.
Is this guy?
I'm gonna sleep for the wicked.
You an alien, this guy?
What's going on here?
Definitely not an alien, because if I was, I probably would have taken over this planet years ago.
Yeah, because you're psycho. All right, cool. Ty Schmidt talks the table. I can't thank you guys enough. Here we go. Out Baby's dead, by the way.
Whoa. We'll see how it does third hour. If it's not good, third hour.
No. Everyone, 3 new ideas on his desk Monday morning.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. You didn't say anything in that second hour. Here we go.
I haven't said it one time because I can't get the timing down, and I don't.
So what is this, a holdout? Is he protesting?
What the hell's going on?
Are you protesting? This show sucks. He is holding. He's right here, right in front of us. Doing it right in front of our face, not saying it.
All right, Derwin James over here.
There's a guy in Ohio that would love to be able to do it 2 times.
He does do it.
He's only once.
Only
though.
once.
Yeah.
Tone sits here, stares at the pitch, and just lets that thing go right to the catcher, walks out of the battery.
Every time.
Every
I
time.
can't see the laces.
Yeah, well, that's a problem for you. Which even leads me back to my point. I think we got to change it for the good of the team. For the good of the team. 2/3 of the team here are just fucking
No way.
all out of sorts. This guy isn't even participating in the game. You just, who knows, Johnny come lately in and out.
I'm taking
and
hats.
Ty seems to be very into it because it is a baseball thing.
It is a baseball term.
All right, let's go from
Was this a baseball show?
Maybe we need like a football term.
here we go. This is it. This is the determiner.
Okay.
This is it
I'll
right
try
here.
All right.
All right, run it.
In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. It is a monumental occasion. We have no idea what our call will be as the hours begin. Let's see how it goes. The show starts now.
Here we go, Atta Baby. See?
See, I mean, when these guys fucking give effort, you see what happens.
Wow. That was fucking exhilarating.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? There was a moment there where we were never going to say that again.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know you guys proved what you wanted to do.
Whoa.
We don't even have to have a brainstorm weekend. You guys wanted to stick around.
Whoa.
Did you hear the emphasis they gave on the here we go, Atta Baby right there?
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to run gassers after the show. So
No. There's no punishment. That was you guys deciding whether or not it keeps going. Do we have to do it again?
No.
Sure.
Professional.
Reps. Yes.
Joining us, a man who's been sitting in his attic in Ohio for the past few minutes watching this all unfold, knowing that it does affect him because in the third hour he gets to do the call into the hour.
That's right.
College football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. How do you feel?
I'm glad it survived. So, Con, good job. I appreciate you, strapping in and grinding. So, yeah, I look forward to the next hour.
It wasn't just Con Man. Okay, Tone Diggs also got real up on that microphone as I was starting to do it. So I think the Here We Go Atta Baby survives at least another day, maybe through the weekend.
Here we go. Pumped. Atta Baby.
We'll see. We'll see what happens in an hour.
Oh, AJ.
There may be some forgetful minds.
Oh, no. You guys don't care enough about Here We Go Atta Baby? You think next hour you guys are going to drop the ball, forget it yet again, like Tone has every time we've done it, and you certainly did hour one?
The more people doubt, the more, I can't wait to prove them wrong.
Oh, these are chips.
That's right. Stacking them. One by one.
Boom.
One at a time.
Both shoulders.
Oh, I can't do that? Oh, okay, hold on. Stack it over here now.
You got dick shoulder pads on right now.
Goddamn right.
Little pee-wee football shoulder pad. AJ Hawk from high school, when he was in 9th grade, ready to headhunt Herb Street shoulder pads from Centerville, Ohio, of chips on your shoulders.
2 Pete Davidson schlongs on my shoulder. That's how high these chips are. They're going.
Not even John Hill.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Hamaconda
And
on one
super
shoulder.
glued those fucking slongs to his shoulder so he can never take them off. Those chips
right.
will never leave his shoulder.
And if those
Put
get too high,
45-pound plates on those.
yeah.
Is anybody doing 8 minutes? Anybody doing 8-9 minutes of their show? Talking about the call sign coming back in? I don't think so. That's why it's working out for us. And all those executives saying, you do it like the McAfee Show.
Do the McAfee thing.
Don't, by the way, do not. All right, let's dive into some stuff. Last night, big night, Hall of Fame game happened, AJ Hawk. We all knew that the level of football is probably not going to be anywhere near what we will see in like 5 weeks from today as the regular season kicks off. A lot of the players playing, we will never see play football again. Doug Peterson taking his newly found $175 million worth of guarantees and contracts just this offseason. Jacksonville Jaguars up to Josh McDaniels' hometown for his debut as a Raiders head coach with his entire family in there. What were your thoughts on the game? And shout out to us being undefeated, the over hits, AJ.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, over was never in doubt. We knew it would happen. It came through for us in the fourth
AJ, you didn't watch the game. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I watched the majority of the game. Yeah.
There was some drives where that over was very much in doubt, AJ.
That's why it was 30.5 was a pretty good number they put out there, wasn't it?
It really was, because there was 30 points with 7 minutes left. And it's like...
That's when I was sitting there, I'm like, man, this 0.5 always screws us.
Yeah, I've seen... Exactly. And I was actually thinking to myself, when they scored... I texted the group. I said, we're dead. Me and Mitt, we're dead. We're fucking dead. We were the only ones watching the game still, me and Mitt and everybody that had the over. We're watching every single drive. There was a lot of shit football. I mean, there was lower than a USFL football last night.
Running backs looked okay, I feel like.
Yeah, running backs looked okay. I think it's because a lot of D-lines look terrible. Like, you know, like it's hard not to... It's hard not to be negative, and I apologize for doing that. There's too much of that in the world. Josh Jacobs is a fucking unbelievably talented running back. Let's assume he's going to have success. You know what I mean? Like, there was a couple good moments, but a majority of it was bad football. But I thought when it was 27-3 at the end with 7 minutes left, like, oh, we're dead. Like, this is it. And I also thought, oh, the time-traveling fucking FanDuel Sportsbook people tipped their hand way too much on a game that we know nothing about. They're within a goddamn half a point. I had that whole tweet and email ready to be sent both publicly and to FanDuel, letting them know, like, isn't this just convenient? Then we hit joyful occasion.
Huge.
I was dead asleep. We're 1-0. We were off and running. Because you're not supposed to bet the over on the Hall of Fame game. And we hit.
Never.
Do you know what that means for the year, AJ? We're about to do it.
Hell yeah. We may not lose a bet this year, honestly.
Tone has it.
Yeah.
Tone had Raiders and over. Parlay. You did not have the over.
I had the Raiders. I took the under back in.
Come on.
I took it back in June.
Well, that's what we're saying. You got to dodge, duck, dip, dive, dodge, and adjust, dude, as things come your way.
Well, I didn't know McDaniels was from.
But once you learned it,
at the time.
Once you learned it, you could have easily said, "It's Ohio.
Cash
fuck
out.
is coming back to Ohio."
It was in. I couldn't.
Did you know he was an Ohio guy? I did not know.
Yeah, his dad's like a coaching legend. His brother played. Yeah, Canton McKinley is. They've had a lot of studs come through there.
There was a shot. I forget who they were interviewing with. Maybe it was Trevor Lawrence, and it was a little bit lower, shooting up at him. In the background was that one side that has the high, bleachers. I was like, I told Sam, that's a high school football stadium in Ohio. That is a high, like that. Yeah. It's huge. Yeah. Does that fill up or no?
I would assume for some of their games, yeah, for sure. I don't know exactly. I think multiple. Is it only McKinley that plays there? I don't know how many Canton teams played there, actually.
You know what? We'll know. Hey, Ty, you're from Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay, had no idea the school even existed.
Right.
Let me ask. Actually, Nick, you went to the same high school I did in Pittsburgh. Who all plays at that?
At Tom Benson Memorial.
Who plays? Thank you. At Tom Benson Memorial. Do you know, Nick?
No.
No, yeah, me neither. AJ, you're the fucking one that would know this, obviously. I mean,
I would. It's like 3 hours from me where it is, so it's not like I'm up there every day.
Okay, we understand. That is a little bit of a haul. But is Ohio, high school football in Ohio is a thing, right? I mean, it's massive.
Yeah, big deal. Like there's some Cincinnati powerhouses. A lot of people have heard a lot of the Catholic schools up north there, like in the Canton, Cleveland, all those. Yeah, there's studs everywhere.
Because everybody talks about Texas high school football, like filling up stadiums, which very real, and I understand that. Ohio is similar or no?
I think Ohio is at certain places, maybe not like the giant 50,000 seat high school stadiums that they have in Texas and some of the places, but yeah, there's some awesome atmospheres. Like even if they don't have huge places, what is it? Elder, I believe, and Cincinnati has like the pit where it's like sunk down. Like there's some really cool spots.
Oh, that's like the Wolverina. Oh yeah. The Wolverina, Woody High, W-O-O-D-Y, Woody High. So that's where my mom went to school. Rob Gronkowski went to school. Stevie Breston went to school.
Jason
Taylor went to school there. A bunch of studs.
Sean Penn.
And their stadium.
Sean Penn?
I don't know if Sean Penn went to.
Sean Lee, excuse me.
Sean Lee went to Upper St. Clair. Vastly different than Woody High. Sean Lee and Connor Lee went to Upper St. Clair. That place is a college campus. Woody High is not, and the Wolverina is like in this. It's legendary. It is pretty legendary. Presently, it is the home field for McKinley Senior High School Bulldog football team and Timken Senior High School Trojans football team, and two colleges, the Malone Pioneers and the Walsh Cavaliers. All right, so a bunch of places we never heard of are playing there. Are they selling that thing out or no?
I don't know. McKinley, I bet, sells it out sometimes.
There's no way those college teams are.
No,
I was impressed. I was very impressed by the fact that the fans came back.
Yeah.
And are those people traveling from out of town for that, or is that locals there?
I think it's a little bit of both. I know people that weren't you in the Green Bay Indy, the game that got canceled?
Yep.
I knew some people who were diehard Packers fans that we were friends with, and they were so pumped, took their kids up, and the game didn't happen. They were a little disappointed, but they still loved being there and seeing everybody up close.
And they just stayed for the weekend? They did a whole weekend up there?
Yeah, I think the dad took the son, and they stayed for a couple days, and it was like a whole awesome experience. I think there's a lot of that for the Hall of Fame weekend.
Okay, so there's a lot of football fans that travel for that. This year, it's not a real. I mean, Tony Baselli sounds like a legend. Listening to him talk and his personality, I've never met him. First ever draft pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars, goes into the Hall of Fame. First ever Jaguar in there. That's huge. But it's not like a star-studded. Dick Vermeil still got his fastball. Oh, yeah. Did you hear his interview?
Yeah, Dick Vermeil is awesome.
His interview was fucking awesome. Listening to him talk, he had a couple, I don't want to say legendary lines in there, but he had some coach speak that I'd never heard phrased in a way
He
before.
is super, super passionate. He's known, have you ever seen when he starts talking to his team and he starts crying because he's so juiced and he just cares about him? He's a unique guy.
I didn't know much about him other than Invincible and then obviously the American Underdog Story.
Right.
That's all I really know him from. But listening to his interview on the sideline yesterday made me be like, man, I fucking wish I would have seen more of Dick Vermeil. How come did he do TV? He just disappeared?
He did. He did some TV. I think he still might mess around and do some TV.
He's good. That speech he gave. And then Chris Collinsworth followed up with that guy was hard to play for. Because he said that if we didn't get something right, we would just keep practicing until we got it right. Now they can't do that. He gave the whole it's soft nowadays speech, which I can understand. But that is a cool thing about the Hall of Fame game. Getting to listen to Bryant Young, the guy for the Niners who got carried off. Yeah. I didn't know enough about him. Listening to him talk, it was a cool showcase of people I didn't know enough about. But from a business sense, I think they should have had a little bit more, AJ?
Pageantry.
A little bit more.
I guess, yeah. I wonder what it's like when you're up there. If it feels different being there than it does other years. Last year was Edrin, right? Cruising around in the car and getting his free car from the owner.
And Peyton went in, Edge went in.
It was 2 years because of the COVID year, so it was 2 years of guys going in. It was a lot of people last year.
Yeah.
But I think every year there's normally some, you know what I mean?
Normally some first ballot guys
real
that
headliner.
pretty current.
Modern. Like
Urlacher, first time. Guys they come up for the first time, oh, sweet, I feel this guy he was playing 2 years ago, and obviously it's been 5 at least.
And when these guys all played incredible football and laid the framework and the groundwork for the league that we have today, and I'm very thankful for all ex-players and everything that they've sacrificed, both physically, mentally, and emotionally to the league. The way it's covered with social media, a person makes one play right now, one good play, everybody knows their fucking name the next day because it floats around the internet. Now, will they forget about it? Yes, but if it gets shown again in front of them, hey, this guy's making a Hall of Fame, it's this play, it's oh, I remember, boom. This class, it feels like there isn't really anybody that is from the modern era that anybody knows. Who's speaking last? Baselli? Baselli speaking last?
I don't know how they worked that out. Leroy Butler, a lot of Green Bay fans obviously excited about him.
Yeah.
Invented the Lambeau Leap.
He was cool.
He played when Favre was there, so it's kind of the same deal. I was really young, but I do remember him being, an absolute stud. But it is a lot of I was still so young that I probably only remember 1 or 2 moments from games.
And you're how old?
I'm 32.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, that's a thing. And no offense to any of these guys, it's not their fault. It was just the eras and the way the NFL has been covered is vastly different now than what it was in the past. But I'm pumped to hear Dick Vermeil.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Leroy said that him and his mom started writing his Hall of Fame speech 16 years ago. Or
something. And she died, and that was a big. And he said, he knows that she's up there with God. She knew the entire time. That was pretty.
That
cool
was sick.
Hearing that.
I was learning about these guys.
Yeah.
So because I went in after they introduce everybody at the beginning of the game, they make the whole team line up, and then they get introduced, and then they finish. I'm like, man, okay, doesn't feel like it's the biggest names, but then as you watch the game play and you're this football is terrible, and then they go to an interview and you listen to the stories, it's man, congrats to that guy. I'm happy for everybody, but I don't think it was, and it's going to sound bad, but marketing wise, I think they should have tried to at least, I don't know.
But the voters, how many people were up for first time that didn't
Reggie?
win? I guess it's up to the voters.
Reggie Wayne was
up this year? Or is that next year?
Maybe next
Might
year.
Might be for 2023.
I don't know, but I just think that there's not going to be as much national attention on this weekend. And I'll watch.
When are the speeches?
Saturday night, right?
Saturday and Sunday, or is it just Saturday because last year was 2?
I believe the latter part is correct.
Yeah, just Saturday.
Just Saturday night.
So tonight will be their parties. Some of the guys have. I know they all have parties there, so they'll have parties tonight and all of that.
Yeah, I've heard those parties. Some of them are pretty insane.
Remember Urlacher? Urlacher said his party was awesome.
Well, what a fucking Brian Urlacher, by the way. Hall of Famer.
He's awesome.
a beast.
What's he? 6,000 miles a
year.
year. He's trying to bike.
Yeah. Such a beast.
Freak athlete.
Bro, he sent me a text the other day, setting me up.
What'd he say?
Setting me up. He was like, "Hey man, did you ever get to talk to him? You know?" And I'm like, I had to put myself. I'm getting texts from a lot of people these days, and I see Urlacher's name at the top, and I'm like, I had to read into Urlacher. What was Urlacher thinking when he texted this? I have to go through my memory. You know, did Urlacher and I talk about anybody? No, we did not. So I responded with, "He's the best, isn't he?" Responded back, question mark. He goes, "Damn, I'll get you one day." I think I was at D's. He was setting me up for D's, I think, or something. I think he was trying to get me. Just out of nowhere, fucking Urlacher's name pops up on my phone. He said, "Hey, did you get a chance to talk to him?" And I'm like, "Whoa."
Definitely. Yeah, definitely something.
1,000%.
Yeah, I'm like, full. By the way, I'm in the middle, I think, of a meeting. I'm talking to somebody at a time. It pops up on my phone. I put it down. As somebody's talking, it's very important, obviously, whatever they're saying. And I appreciate them so much for saying it, and it needed to be said, didn't it?
Yeah, had to be.
It all needed to be said, whatever was being said. All I was thinking the entire time is Urlacher set me up for a D's Nut Show?
He's a huge prankster. He anytime he's golfing on his Instagram stories, always fake snakes.
Yeah, Zeke. That's the name of the snake. Is Zeke. Yeah, it has a full name.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. It was a full. And then that's fucking Urlacher, though. That's the guy.
Yeah.
That was just so dominant on the field. A safety moved the linebacker who was a punt returner, just a fucking animal. And he was trying to. I'm like, there's no way this is a D's Nut Show. I'm talking to like some corporate America people.
Yeah.
And in my phone, Hall of Famer Urlacher set me up for a D's Nuts joke. I'm like, what a life. Dumbest life of all time. Didn't get me either, but I assume at some point there's something coming from Urlacher, and it's just going to be like, ha ha!
Yeah, gotcha. Richard Seymour's party tonight will probably be wild because I think like Vrabel and a lot of those old Patriots will be there and they'll probably tear it up.
That's always an interesting thing. We were invited to a Hall of Fame thing, and we're not allowed to go.
What?
Yeah, when Polian went in. The players that were around during Polian's era were invited. And then we weren't allowed to go because it was middle camp. This is middle training camp.
Yeah.
So not everything is like as easy to figure out. Yeah. It's an interesting game. Anyways, let's get back to some football conversation. You know, the punt returners are normally the most explosive athletes on the field. That is what it's become. Back in the day, there was only a few of them. Right, Devin Hester changed the game. Josh Cribbs changed the game. Deshaun Jackson, when he was returning, changed the game.
Chiefs, Dante, and the Chiefs, what's his last name?
The X Factor.
X Factor.
Yeah. He changed the game. There was like, through history in the past of the NFL, you remember like one returner per generation almost. And then analytics came around and full-time professions as special teams coordinators came around, and they all realized what a weapon it is. If you win the field position battle, the percentage of you winning the game is like 85% or something, like 82% for a long time. So everybody was like, well, how do we take advantage of that? Well, return game is how some of these teams who've had explosive guys have taken advantage. And now, not everybody can be just a returner. Not every wide receiver can be a returner. There is something to catching a punt while 10 people are sprinting at you. Not everybody has it. There's been numerous teams that have drafted a fast wide receiver from college and said, hey, you're going to be our punt returner, and I hit a ball and we just beat the fuck out of that returner. I mean, we can hit a ball from the clouds right down into the chest, and all you hear everybody say is, beat him up. Like that is, it's a talent in of itself. But a lot of people start taking advantage of putting their most explosive athletes back there. If a guy can catch a punt and he's explosive, we might as well roll the dice and get in some good blocks and try to take advantage of third and fourth stringers that are covering on kicks. So then you started seeing every single team had a motherfucker who ran a 4-2 or a 4-3 back there. It became a nightmare. Obviously, Tyreek Hill changed the game. Antonio Brown changed the game. Even Edelman, whenever he was back there, changed the game. Teams had guys that were just locked back there. Ain't none of them ever going to be like fucking Pac-Man Jones. Pac-Man Jones had 0 fair catches in his career. Okay, so they didn't put him back for fair catch area where it is just kind of, hey, this is going to be a high pooch bunt. We're going to send one guy to try to block it. It's going to be a fair catch, and then we just kind of move on. He was never out there for that because there's no reason for him to be out there. But if Pac-Man was returning a kick, there was a 100% chance of electricity and fireworks happening. I've tackled him one time. I almost got my ass shook by him one time. I hit like a 4.8 to him that I thought he was going to lose his head, and he did not fair catch it and somehow got out and kept it moving. But whenever he went on Hard Knocks, and he caught, I think, 6 balls at one time. I think that was when people started giving him respect for how incredible of an athlete he was. Look at this clip, AJ. He was drafted number 6 overall, I think, to the Tennessee Titans. He played corner, is what he was drafted for. They had him at slot wide receiver, and he was a punt returner. Got into trouble, ended up with the Cowboys on Hard Knocks, and this ended up being I think, a monumental moment for the entire Pac-Man Jones era.
In here the other day, and he's talking about how many balls he's caught at
One
one time and holding them at the same time. He starts off with 5, and it starts
Dave
growing.
Campo was his DB coach, wasn't he?
Did you see that?
Wade.
Pack caught 6 punts, 6 balls. He had 5. He had 5.
Wade's
caught
awesome.
another one.
Oh yes.
Catches it.
Look at him.
He had 6 footballs with none of them touching the ground.
That was amazing.
It was. I mean, he told me 6. He said, I've done 6. And I said, no.
Wait.
Put it on his arm, called another one.
Look at this guy.
Another one.
Told the
Another
story
one.
like 8 people.
5.
Best hype man ever.
3 under this arm, 2 under that one. He catches another one. It's called
Are you
6.
kidding
I've never
me?
seen anybody do that.
Never seen anybody do it.
Do we have this thing on tape somewhere? I'd love to see it.
NFL Films is like, you fucking got it. That was Matt, I believe, the punter there.
No, I got one.
Actual punts, by the way. Not Jugs machine punts.
Yeah.
I got 3.
A lot of pressure on that punter, too.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you want to hit a good ball when he has 4 already.
How about when he has 5?
I mean, that's...
That one hit him right in the dick, yeah. Look at this fucking guy. Some people can't catch 1 punt. 6, how you doing? Keep it moving, throw it, everybody suck it. Let me get out of here. The amount of shit that was being talked to him right there from all those guys he just threw balls on. That became a new training thing, though, that all punt returners did. I ain't never seen a motherfucker do 7. Ever. Because think about the amount of space you have to have.
Yeah.
Right out of Pittsburgh Steelers camp.
Yep.
You got to feel pretty good. What's Cuzzy's name?
Anthony Miller.
Anthony Miller does 7. We did not have the video.
I think Pat could have got 7. Once he caught that 6, it looked like he could have got another one right in the middle.
I don't know. He got it right in the dick. I think those are the ones. That's when you run out of space.
the hardest one.
Because you're doing the one, you know what I mean? Because you have nothing to stop it. The classic catch is on the peck.
Yeah.
You're always trying to catch it on a peck. Some guys are right tit catchers. Some guys are left tit catchers, right? That's that's like kind of how it goes. Here's Anthony Miller catching the 7th one.
Jeez.
Boom, down to the ground.
Wow.
Think about the freak athleticism that's just bouncing around the NFL.
Guardian cap, too.
Well, the Guardian cap is heavy.
Kept him safe.
It's not easy to do it. They did keep him safe. But I think that is something that should be chatted about. Anthony Miller, I've never heard of this guy. I assume he's
The
fine.
Bears wasted him, and then
Whoa.
He's just catching 7 punts out of nowhere.
Wait, is that the one that returned had a couple returns in the Packers?
I believe so, yeah.
second
He's
round
a
pick
stud.
out of Memphis.
Yeah, he was pretty decent for the Bears. He could have, he showed flashes quite a bit. I think he could have been a lot better. But yeah, to Tony's point, they did kind of just waste him.
Freak athlete, too.
Now it's him and Gunner up there, right?
Yeah, Gunner
They
Olszewski.
brought in Olszewski.
Here we go. That leads us to our next segment, AJ, and I'm happy you're here.
Hell yeah.
It's a brand new seg, pal.
Hell yeah.
Because Anthony Miller made me think about Pac-Man back in the day. And every time we see some training camp shots, we think to ourselves, damn, the highlights are immense right now.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
People are making plays. It's time for fucking Camp Cam, baby.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
We shall bounce around training camps looking at highlights from the incredible football players that have checked in to NFL training camps. Let's go ahead and dive right into the Camp Cam waters. Trey Lance and Brandon Ayuk have had more than a few highlights. Trey Lance throws a wobbly ball, but it appears as if he puts it right on the money. This offense looks explosive through training camp, through the highlights, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, right. Look at Fred Warner. That's who I noticed. 54, the linebacker, put his foot in the ground and absolutely fly to Trey Lance. Great play by everybody here, actually. Their team speed looks legit.
Fred Warner thought it was a run. Nuh-uh. I got a Guardian cap on. I'm putting pressure on Trey Lance. Perfectly timed route, perfectly timed ball. That offense is going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Trey Lance throws an ugly ball, right? Doesn't he?
Sometimes. I mean, it's not always a perfect spiral, but I don't know.
Earlier in camp, we saw him throw.
Yeah, the other one to Ayuk.
The other one to Ayuk, and it's a little.
It's not the Joe Flacco tight spiral.
Bingo.
Flacco right now.
Flacco might be a fucking starting quarterback right now for the Jets.
Yeah.
I see every time I see a slow-mo ball from Flacco, I'm like, just put him in. This guy's gonna win another Super Bowl. It looks amazing.
His form is so good. Remember, Delaware he was coming out of? They're like, this guy throws the ball 75 yards or whatever. It's like, well, he's 6'6" and has perfect form. Yeah, but Peyton threw very ugly ball.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're putting it right on time, right in the right spot. So Trey Lance is still going to continue to develop, I think, is what we're seeing here. But just the full raw athleticism. Shanahan's got to be going to bed every night like, I can do whatever the fuck I want with this guy. I can't wait for it. Good luck to the rest of the NFC.
Yeah, and Elijah Mitchell's really good at running back. Like, we talk about Kittle and Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, but Elijah Mitchell is unbelievable, and this is the first time Shanahan has a mobile quarterback. Like, the things he's going to be able to draw up with Trey Lance, you've probably never even seen before.
Shanahan's just beautiful mind on a window right now. You think up there at training camp with all the shit he'll be able to do with this Trey Lance guy?
Yeah.
I bet he's so excited, man. I bet he's just so juiced thinking of all the different plays. He's going back 15, 20, 30 years in his brain of like different plays that he learned from his dad. He's like, okay, here we go. This is how we're going to score 200 points a game and put up 6,000 yards.
How would this play be better if the quarterback was massive and ran a 4.4?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we could do this. What was that one thing we did in Cleveland right before I gave the 50 PowerPoint on why I need to get out of my contract to no longer coach here? What was that one play we had? Oh, yeah, we had the fucking left tackle pulling. Remember, we had him pulling, and then now we got – that's what's happening, I bet, between Shanahan. Like, if McDaniels was still there, who's been with him forever, think about what McDaniels – Bro, remember when we – Like, he's going to have so much fun with it. And, by the way, they will run that fucking thing 90% of the time.
Yeah.
They have no
It all
worries.
comes off of that. That's like the misdirection of everything they can do, the run pass, like because Trey Lance, you see even there, like everything, his footwork looks good. He looks like he's got good fundamentals, but he's so athletic. You can really take advantage of defenses. You can't ever just, as the old coaches say, pin your ears back and go. You got to always be watching.
Fred Warner didn't know what hit him there, and he's been practicing against it for 2 years. Go ahead,
And
Connor.
having a guy like Juszczyk, too, at fullback where, if he leaks out, no one's there. And the sports books know. Like, how often does a team lose their quarterback, have a guy that's never started, and still have, top 5 odds in the NFL to win the Super Bowl?
Trey Lance is going to be a dog, I think. And that, obviously a lot of overreaction off of one highlight, but I'll tell you what, you can make that play. There's probably others that are coming alongside it. Let's continue to bounce around training camp to training camp in our Camp Cam series. Here we are, Aaron Rodgers with a feather in his hat, in his cap.
That's right.
A feather in his cap. Juggling a football, not easy. It's oblong, obviously. Big Man City fan. A guy who dabbles in the plants and the psychedelics, juggling a football. How do you feel about it, AJ?
I like it. Why does he keep looking back at the camera to make sure he got it? See,
Well,
boom.
I don't know how many times he's done this, but this immunized man is certainly talented, making sure people pick it up. And, hey, what's the feather in the cap for, pal?
Yeah, I have no clue. What is it?
You tell me.
I've never seen that before.
Me neither. That's the first thing I seen, though, as he was juggling a football.
He might not know it's there. Somebody could have stuck it there and he doesn't even know yet.
Very valid. Very true. He seems more comfortable, confident in himself than he's ever been. Is that a misread by me? You've been around him longer.
No, he does. Definitely seems to be enjoying himself. Seems very. I mean, it almost feels like now, at least watching from afar, that he's like a player/coach. He's like Pete Rose was back in the day. He's the manager and he's playing.
He's not gambling on games, obviously, but I mean,
I didn't say that.
He's Jackie Mooning. You're saying
Sure.
Him and LaFleur had a little moment.
Yeah.
He asked LaFleur to turn his hat around so he could showcase his eyebrows.
Yeah, eyebrows. Nice.
Yeah, because he had his hat on low, probably because LaFleur hasn't, slept in a while, and he was beating up Jugs Machine because Jugs Machine wouldn't turn the ball over, and it was ruining a punt return drill. He had his hat, and Aaron says, Hey, Buttercup, fucking turn that guy. Then he ended up with When you're watching this, how do you feel? Honestly, going into the season.
Nice bromance.
It is. It's a very nice bromance. And by the way, this has been since day one. Even though the world said they hated each other, I think LaFleur said, publicly and probably privately, I would like Aaron's input into Aaron's offense. And it seems like that is something that they've really bonded over, grown over, and they're going to have to reprove themselves without Devontae Adams. As a fan, you see shit like this, you're in a good mood, I assume?
Oh, yeah, absolutely love it. I mean, you assume that Rodgers, and especially like with what we're seeing now, and to your point about him, like just kind of being the happiest he's been, it seems, in a long time.
Well, he's all doped up in a different dimension. What's this guy's problem, AJ? What's this guy's?
I mean, I don't know. Do they test for ayahuasca?
Yeah, what's he doing? Is he fucking just going around grabbing every piece of grass he can find and smoke that thing to see where he can head to?
Yeah, I tell you what.
What's this guy's problem?
If it's helping him huck 6 touchdowns on Sunday, you do what you got to do during the week.
Colin Cowherd went on a hilarious rant.
Yeah,
Did you
I
hear
heard
it? You listened to it?
Yeah, of course.
It was amazing. How about the witch rumors and the
psychedelic brew?
Psychedelic brew being the garage band names.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I remember, I mean, R.I.P. to Captain Morgan and Colin. I know it's a very similar situation.
He had 6 in one night. He got all dizzy.
Straight? Was it straight, or you think he mixed it?
No,
it was Captain's Coke.
Captain Coke.
He said rum and Coke. Yeah. We all went through a Captain and Coke phase, by the way.
Hell yeah.
I don't think it was the same thing Aaron went through, but I do understand.
You better be careful. Big Ben did a Hayabusa once, had to glue his face back on.
True.
No, that was a motorcycle. And he
What?
did not have a license, and he ran through a red light. And that was a 6-way intersection that has a tunnel and 2 bridges involved in it. That was a poor decision by Ben on his Hayabusa.
That lady ran a stop sign.
You're right. It wasn't Ben's fault. I apologize. I'm rewriting history. Still, probably keep your eyes peeled in that particular part of town where he got blown. This dude got destroyed on Hayabusa.
He got lucky.
Yes, very.
When they show the area, I haven't been there. I'm sure you have. When they showed it, I was like, he's lucky he didn't die, obviously.
It's 5 ways. Okay, and it's very eventful, and all of them are blind.
Was he trying to gun it through somewhere or merge? What was he doing?
The lady, I guess, was trying to do that. The lady was trying to either bear left, I think, as opposed to go straight, and he was coming from another side. It's all blind in that area there, but, I mean...
If I did not have a lot of experience on a motorcycle, I would not be on that road.
Well, now that he's retired, they're finally letting her out of jail.
Hell yeah.
That lady never went to jail, right? I don't think she.
I don't know. I know she was from the New England area. Everyone thought Belichick sent her down there.
Classic Bill. But also, Cowherd did bring up Big Ben. He said, if Aaron had a strong woman like Big Ben, even though Big Ben gained a few pounds, but he still,
He likes him better, though.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he likes him better.
I like my professional athletes to be married to a strong woman.
I mean, that was Colin. I mean, his brain, how it works, is pretty amazing. But yeah, that was a solid take.
I was getting a lot of tweets. This Colin Cowherd, what are you saying about Aaron? And then as I was listening, I'm like, this motherfucker's brain is unbelievable. He brought in Big Pharma. He brought in Big Pharma.
Yeah, what did he say about Big Pharma?
He said if he had a strong woman, Kyrie, if he was married, she would have said, go to pharmacy. Get your vaccination, you're on team. All right, it would have been a whole thing.
Done deal.
Kevin Durant, he said if he was married and he told his wife, all right, I'm gonna leave Steph, I'm gonna leave Draymond, I'm gonna leave Klay Thompson, I'm gonna go to Brooklyn to be with Kyrie. She would have said, pick up the phone, you're not going anywhere.
Go get lunch.
And if you go, you're going alone. And by the way, very valid takes.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what the case would have been? But also, I don't think it's just the fact that they're married. I believe it's a little bit deeper than that. But that might be because I've tried some psychedelics before. So it might be deeper than that. Maybe the traits of humans who get married are a little bit different than the traits of humans who maybe delay their marriage and commit themselves to their sport. So it's just, there's obviously layers to it. But yes, as it continued to go on, I was like, God damn. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. I assume Aaron thought the same thing, even though it was quite an interesting take against him. Let's continue to bounce around training camp to training camp. We went to the Packers. We obviously now take a trip to the Indianapolis Colts. Look at Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP, hawking into double coverage like Carson Wentz and Ashton Dooley. Never heard of him. Moss, keep it going.
What a catch.
Yeah, you never heard of that guy. Nobody outside of Indianapolis has. He's had a couple great camps. He is a great talent. We have Nick Foles on our team. It's good to show this highlight. Going up over top of somebody. Hey.
Lost.
What a play. Not a great ball there by Foles when you think about it. Kind of looked like Jarrett Stidham's throw last night.
Yep.
First play of the game. That was a
Is that
punt.
a 50-50 ball?
Well, Nick Foles knows that if Ashton Doolin's around, it's an 80-20 ball. And that's why Nick Foles has the big Richard in his pants, because he throws balls like that and makes things happen. They're not the only Colts highlight. There's another one from Colts camp. This is one of the rookie tight ends we had chatted about yesterday with Chris Ballard. His name's Ogletree. He's from Youngstown State. He was a Penguin. He's a fucking monster. One hand. Hey, Colts are going to be a problem. The AFC's loaded.
Yep.
But with Matt Ryan in this Colts roster, I'm still a little bit worried about the weapons, even though I just saw Ashton Dolan go do his thing. And I just seen Ogletree, a guy who's a rookie, go up over top in the middle and catch something insane. The weapons might be an issue later in the season if some of these guys get injured and they got to go even deeper in there. But this roster with Matt Ryan feels ready to go, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, it really does. Have you seen the Colts are putting out like behind the scenes stuff? I watched it on YouTube this morning. It shows Matt Ryan driving into the first day of camp, shows Irsay speaking to the team. Have you seen it?
So the Colts content team is a good team. They're a good digital team. And also, that starts from the top all the way down. Irsay, and I think the Irsay family is like, hey, we should create this type of content. It wasn't always that way. They've had to evolve. Amber is the lady they hired to run their Twitter at one point, and that was towards the tail end of me leaving there. And I got the feeling that she was one of the only ones in that department at the time that had any fucking idea of what was going on. And she's continued to go and go. I think she's now the director of the entire content team. And the Irsays and the Colts empower them. Like, hey, let's make cool shit here. And I love it. I'm very thankful for what they accomplish over there, AJ.
I was glad to see it. It just popped up and I saw it and watched Matt Ryan. He was like kind of getting interviewed as he was driving into his first day and showed Jim Irsay. And then Matt Ryan goes up and talks to Irsay after, and you can see why Irsay loves him. Matt Ryan's like, yeah, you were spot on, man. That's exactly. We gotta prepare, so we're ready. We're hitting the ground running. And I'm like, man, Irsay is juice.
Yeah, Irsay's juice because he sees something that looks like Peyton back in the building. Yeah. I think Reggie Wayne also was on record as saying, yeah, I almost get sick with how much this guy is Peyton Manning. And Jim Irsay is like, brother, thank you. Yeah. I can go back to worrying about my guitars. Like, who's taking the snaps? Like, he's pumped. Remember, he came on the show and he said, we got an astronaut now. Yeah. We got a Navy SEAL. You know, the weight of, the pressure of finding the next quarterback after Andrew Luck's sudden departure after another injury 9 days before the season or whatever, feels like it's off Irsay's shoulders for a little bit. But the weight on Ballard's shoulder, very real.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now you got a quarterback that even Irsay's like, we got a guy. Last year, I think Irsay was letting Ballard like, hey, well, I don't believe in him either, brother. This is your decision. But now that they got a guy, everything's up, especially at the quarterback position, and the rest of that roster's ready to go.
Yeah, and when you look at the rest of the division, like the Titans really just lost a few guys, and they got Traylon Burks, but he's a rookie. You don't know what his deal's going to be. And then their other wide receiver, Robert Woods, is coming off an ACL. So it really is like the Colts division.
I hope that Lovie Smith says, Nick Caserio, take the headphones off. I hope Nick Caserio has no say in what's going on down there in Houston. I hope in Jacksonville they continue to play nobody that they paid, like they did last night in the Hall of Fame game. Yep. And I hope Vrabel just decides he doesn't like coaching anymore.
Whoa.
That fucking Titans team is going to be good.
Of course.
Yeah. Vrabel coaching any team is going to be good. That's just how they're going to be, right? I mean, last year they were number one in the AFC, that Tennessee Titans team, and they had the most people on IR and the most people come through their roster. Who knows how or why Vrabel is such a damn good coach? I'd assume it's because his leadership and likability and the amount he works and the guys like him and respect him. But it feels like with Vrabel, he has quickly become, if he's in charge, the team's going to be fucking good. And Ballard knows that, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't you think Vrabel's one of those guys, like the old cliche, if you play the Titans, whether you win or lose, you're going to know that you played the Titans. Like, it's going to be a physical battle. You're going to be one up front. Obviously, you got to try to tackle Derrick Henry all day. It all starts from there, I feel like. But, yeah, they kind of take on Vrabel's attitude, his kind of moxie.
What's his attitude? Mid-conversation, try to fucking stiff arm you to the ground?
Check you.
Yeah, maybe.
We got to have him on sometime, see if he feels like that situation was the same as you interpreted it.
If I passed it. Because there's no way you just bring that.
No.
I mean, that was.
Might have just been saying, like, hey, good to see you, boy.
Wow.
Buddy.
No, but it wasn't like that.
That was after you guys already did.
Yeah, we already had.
This
was mid-conversation. Yeah. Now, granted, I think he did have top shelf, bottom shelf.
Couple horseshoes.
Couple jaws in.
I think he also had the vape and the cig.
Last cig, yeah.
Okay.
And he just got done walking 18 holes for the second or third straight time.
Could have just been like a tobacco rush or something.
He might have been all psychedelic dot.
Whoa.
Maybe.
Like Colin Cowherd. Wow.
Is it an ayahuasca pen? Vape pen?
I don't know if they make those. Do they make those?
DMT.
No.
Maybe, I don't know.
They do the DMT pens, yeah.
Which is the same stuff, I guess, but shorter acting.
It's a brew.
Well, the brew ignites the DMT in a different fashion than the smoking it or anything else like that, AJ, clearly.
Okay.
DMT's in your brain.
Aren't you his guru? Were you the one that said Aaron?
You introduced it to him.
Am I his sober partner that watches him do this?
Yeah.
Are you?
You know the word.
Should I be that person? That sounds like a fun job.
I don't know if the sober partner would be like, yeah, you should do ayahuasca. I think they're like.
Well, no, there's always like people that do mushrooms. Isn't there
Smarter.
usually somebody, a babysitter, that isn't doing it?
Yeah, the shaman.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The shaman does it with them. No.
We were doing mushrooms all wrong. I didn't know there was supposed to be somebody in the team that wasn't supposed to be where you were. That's tough. That was dangerous, I guess, what we were doing.
A little bit.
Roaming around Morgantown, aimless, laughing our asses off. We should have a babysitter here. We should have somebody watching us. We didn't even think about that. Anyways, weren't you the one that said, "Hey, Aaron, why don't you go try to do some shit down in the
Amazon
in the jungle?"
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Weren't you the one that said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been telling them for years, like, hey, I don't have any experience in this, but I think it would help you for sure.
Well, that's not true because you and Brady Quinn did it to get over your wife wearing that combined jersey.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you tried.
Boom. Had to reset it.
Yeah.
I would. Hey, if Brady wants to do it, I'll go do it with Brady. I think it'd be great to see his brain on that.
Oh, so let's do some cannabis and ketamine. Then let's hop out of here. Let's go down. We'll do some ayahuasca.
What?
Then we'll hop over to Central Africa.
Yeah.
And we'll try Iboga.
Sure.
I believe is another.
Ibogaine, yeah. That's like 24 hours of puking. That's long.
No.
No, you don't get it.
Yes,
This ain't like
Ibogaine is
rum
the
and
longer.
coke.
Yeah.
This ain't rum and coke.
At Ohio
okay?
State.
Boomer. Jeez.
Yep.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's do it all. You ready? What is that? Cannabis and ketamine? Is that a cocktail that's common?
I don't know. To be
People
clear,
are taking ketamine from doctors I know to try to get over their depression or PTSD.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm just reading. In my head, I just saw a bunch of blogs that reacted to Aaron Rodgers saying this, and then them just piecing together. I know nothing about said world other than the boomers. I mean, of course, been around boomers a couple times. Obviously not doing it properly. Seems to be a little bit reckless. Jeez Louise. Let's continue our training camp. The Colts are going to be great. Here we are down in New Orleans. New left tackle for the Saints, where everybody's saying you'd rather have to pull him back than tell him to go. This dude is a dog.
Yeah.
Where'd he go? Northern Iowa?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Trevor Penning.
Trevor, this dude is just trying to establish very early that every D lineman on this team is going to hate me through training camp. Every opponent is going to hate me. I will hit you late. I will set the tone. You punch me. I am not scared to come right back at you. I will eat your punches. This is a tone setter that you definitely want on your team, and nobody wants to be playing against. Training camp, it just so happens to be him versus his teammates.
There it is, the finish. That's what bugs you when the guy like that is trying to finish you 10 yards down the field when you're 15 yards away from the ball. That's what pisses people off, and that's what makes this guy an awesome lineman.
This guy's going to make the team because of this type of shit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Look at that, all the way to the grind. Fuck off in 60.
And if you're 60, there's not a whole lot you can do because that was a great block by him. Like, you can get up and be pissed, but it doesn't matter. Hey, he got you.
Don't want to bury 60, but he's number 60. He seems to be very undersized, and he just got pancaked by a pissed off Northern Iowa guy. Probably not great all around for number 60, but that particular rep also not good. He'll be good on the other side. His teammates are going to love this fucking guy. Week 5, week 6, there's going to be something that's going to happen, and the teammates are going to be like, Cam Jordan's going to come out and be like, we had to deal with that motherfucker all training camp. That is how he is every single snap. AQ told us about Jensen. Remember? Yeah. Jensen got to Baltimore as like a 5th round pick or whatever, and he was fighting everybody. They're like, we hate this guy, we hate this guy. Now he goes on to become top 3 center in the league, and that little fuck you is just some people's DNA, and it ends up working if you're an offensive lineman for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the first ever first-round pick from UNI. Like, he's stud through and through. Like, and I mean, obviously, if they go up in the first round to get him at 17, that's a pretty big deal.
First round pick guy doing that is awesome, isn't
At
it?
tackle too. He's playing tackle. That's usually like a guard center deal.
4th, 5th rounder trying to make a name for themselves. You know what I mean? I don't know what Quentin Nelson was like. I assume Quentin Nelson day one was just fucking picking people up and bodying them. But this guy, I like it. I love it. His teammates are talking so much shit on him right now, though. That defensive side of the ball is burying that motherfucker. This fucking asshole we got to keep around. But then he'll have a baby face turn at some point with that locker room, I think.
Plus, you have to love that, too, if you're a Saints fan, because I think Teron Armstead, one of the better tackles, was playing left tackle for them last year. Dolphins got him this offseason, so you're like, oh, we immediately got a guy that seems like he's going to be a plug-and-play forever guy.
He was doing an interview when he was at UNI, and he told the interview person to ask him what he likes about football. Hey, Trevor, what do you like about football? This guy, like a puppet, asked him immediately back, which is the right move to do. I do not blame said reporter person for doing it. And he goes, that I get to physically assault the person across from me every single play. And it's like, oh, okay, this guy's a psychopath.
Hell yeah.
All right, this guy, actual psychopath. If he didn't play football, he'd be using this violence or this need of violence somewhere else. Very thankful he found football. Very thankful he found what he's doing. And good for the Saints seemingly finding a tone setter. And that was Camp Look at us, AJ. We got segments. We're doing stuff.
This graphic's unreal.
Yeah, Zeta created it while we were live today.
The boys
Z.
Had a music change and everything. That's unbelievable.
That's
work.
legit.
Let's go to the phones, 5-hour Energy phone line. Let's go to Sean in Vegas. Sean, what's going on, pal?
Hey, Pat and AG. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Perfect. Oh, yeah. So it's
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Madden ratings and how they might affect players these days. I mean, a lot of these dudes grew up playing Madden, and they probably think pretty highly of themselves, which, as they should, they're in the NFL.
Good call, Sean.
But I wonder how much rivalry it possibly creates in locker rooms. And also, Tone Diggs, the stooge, said a couple months ago, I'd be a pretty shitty attorney, like, quote, one of those billboard guys. And I want to let him know,
What's that
I'd
about?
be honored to be a billboard attorney in Las Vegas because those guys make bank. So once
Bro.
Tone Diggs loses all his money from his trash betting,
Oh!
find a Wendy's dumpster or
You got
pray for a
dicks.
slip and fall in a nice place and hope one of those nice billboard attorneys will save his ass.
You never get it.
There's
Tom.
only one.
Scumbag.
There's only one good billboard.
Did you say
attorney.
that on this show? When did you say
I
that?
have no idea.
Yeah, I actually do.
You're a scumbag. Why are you putting
I
down
assume there was.
billboard?
I assume there was
attorney?
a good reason for me saying that, but there is only one fucking good billboard attorney, and that's Edgar Snyder. So unless you're him,
You don't. We don't. You don't pay unless we get money
For
you.
you.
And you know what Tony would say if he were to lose all his bets as well.
What's that?
Pretty awesome clip that we saw before the show today.
What? We are so broke. Dude, this.
What's that from? Oh, yeah.
His line.
We are so broke.
As soon as we see that, clip it.
Yeah.
We're using that for salary cap conversation. We're using that for fine conversation. We're good. We're using that for everything. And sounds like he's in trouble.
Yeah,
Sounds like
a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like it's going too well when he's on the stand there.
No.
I have to remind everybody, I did not know that human existed until literally 9 to 10 days before he got kicked off the entire internet.
Yeah.
So I had to do a lot of cramming there to catch up. Not a good day for Alex Jones, the character or the human. But they need money, and they need it now. We are so broke. Hour 3 on the other side with Ian Rappaport. We'll see you then. Oh, God. He gave a full promo.
Mm-hmm.
He got a full promo.
Yeah.
About how this $4 million settlement or whatever the judgment end up being for the lawyers.
$3 billion.
He was talking about it. They were sued for $3 billion. So it was a win, obviously. Alex turned this thing into a win. The entire world realized like what this guy actually put through, like grieving parents. Terrible. I think his entire PR took a mighty hit, even from his supporters. And then this is a win. And we are so broke. Buy all of our merch, please.
Yeah, it's on you guys now.
Now, if you want me to keep going, need you to buy everything we got. That was what a time. This place is insane. This earth we're on.
Oh, yeah.
Like the national massage thing happening in Cleveland this weekend.
Cleveland.
Come on.
Like the first someone sent it to me, I was like, this is real? They said, oh, yeah.
Well, then there's that scientist that came out
What?
yesterday talking about the Earth spinning faster.
Well, that's true.
Oh, yeah, that Earth is spinning faster. The Earth is spinning faster. Like, shit happens, you just got to be like, it's all fake. Everything's fake. That massage thing being in Cleveland, wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild, especially with how it all happens and how it's currently taking place. The NFL has appointed a judge from Jersey to
Attorney General
oversee the appeal. I believe they will be hearing a case again, right?
I think so.
It'll be an entire another case again.
I thought they're not going to put him on the stand.
This
I
was
thought
just
it's all
paperwork.
documented.
Oh, it's just paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh, so this guy is carrying out the punishment that he feels it should be after going through paperwork. There's not another trial. Okay, so everybody's assuming that's going to be at least 12 games. There's been multiple reports that Roger Goodell does not want Deshaun Watson in the Week 12 game against Houston. And then there were some settlement conversations early between the NFL and the NFLPA. But
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know. I have no idea. We are just learning about it. Everything we had heard from the original trial in Honorable Judge Sue L. Robinson's court case there, first time doing it, we were told is all potentially bullshit. So we didn't know what to believe, what not to believe. It is now being reported that there was settlement conversation before the entirety of the voluminous trial that was had. And the NFL said 12 games they would agree on, which would be double what Sue Robinson inevitably ended up ruling in there. So what does this mean going forward? What's real? What isn't real? We've heard that an indefinite suspension of at least a year is out there. Now there's reports of if it isn't a year, there will be a huge fine and treatment alongside of it. A lot of people are looking at the $10 million from last season that he made as probably being the standard for what the fine's going to be. So then they'll say he missed last year, he didn't get paid, and another 12 games on top of it. Plus he has to go to treatment for this entire thing because she did find him to be in the wrong, although he wasn't violent. I mean, everything's up in the air right now. Everybody's kind of grasping at straws, I feel like, because this is the first time for any of this. But it's going to be a lot longer than 6 games. I think we all assume that.
Yeah, it sure seems that way. And Judge Robinson, I know her biggest thing, right, for 6 games was the nonviolent part of it, right? She says that this is not a nonviolent thing, so she's saying, like, by the rules, whatever. But do you think they're going to come back and give him, like, the indefinite? Is that going to happen?
And then if they give him indefinite, by the way, this lingers forever.
Yeah.
Well, but if you give him indefinite, you can change it at any time, though.
Yeah, but then that's still just...
Yeah, and then
when does that come? Everyone's like, well, when does that come?
So after week 12, they go, his suspension's up, and then everybody's get. So is this 12 games? Like, I don't know if an indefinite gets you out. Like, I think they have to give a.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, you're right. We need to know. Like, right? I think so.
Yeah, and we're saying we need to know, but I think like the NFL wants everybody to know, so it's not just a constant
cloud over everything.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but
if they do indefinite and then he sues, can he still come back after the 6-game initial suspension that was ruled on?
Because the indefinite then is what's being
after the 6
sued
games.
after the 6 games,
which he's not suing for.
We have no idea how it's going to work. It's the first time it's happening, so anybody that's saying they know what's going to happen has no idea, right?
Now, whatever the fine they give him too, that's not going to make people happy. Like, you could fine him $30 million. It doesn't matter. People know he has a $230 million contract.
Yeah.
It's like with the fine that Ross got. It was like $1.5 million, and then people broke it down, and it's like 0.08% of what his net worth is.
It was one lap of the F1.
Yeah, exactly. So
one lap.
Verstappen fucking flew around that track that one lap
did.
too.
Fucking hell of a Miami.
Record times.
Move it.
Beckham was there. Brady was there.
Yeah.
Braun.
Lou Hamilton.
D-Butt.
Everybody was there.
Is F1 still as big as it was?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I haven't seen a race in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I think I saw D-Butt quote tweet this week.
Yeah, he did.
He's kind of the...
He is.
Yeah, he's an F1
He's
mark.
the champion of it.
Just call it how it is. I mean,
I was going to say scoop or insider.
Oh, okay.
Or like our source.
I think you're right.
But you call him Mark, I think he's also accurate as well.
Yeah.
He's a big-time F1 Mark.
Yeah, because, I mean, isn't that kind of what it is? Watch the show. Like, oh, this is cool. And then go and start watching the F1.
I wonder, so right now it's popularity-wise in America.
Yeah.
NASCAR,
Still King Eyes.
F1,
Yeah.
IndyCar.
10 pounds of
Think
shit,
so.
then IndyCar.
Tony.
What?
Tony.
All right, let's get to a break. They're in Nashville this week.
Pretty good,
You asshole. Those are good people. Grant Rahall's a good guy.
Yeah.
Joseph Newgarden. Connor.
What?
Saito.
Michael Schumacher.
What?
I don't remember his last
AJ
name.
Foyt.
Saito, the guy who won
from
damn
Japan.
near 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Alexander Rossi.
Yeah.
Saito.
Saito can drive. He is right.
Is that his last name or his first name?
I don't know who you Takumo Sato.
Boom. There it is. Love that guy.
He won
a
the
lot of
Indy-
moxie.
I think he won twice.
Love the way he drank the milk after he won, too.
Takuma Sato, I think.
Like a dog.
Dog.
Well, good drivers.
That's right.
That's right. I mean, it's a stat.
I haven't seen any of F1.
I have not seen it either. I tried to watch one. It was a rain delay, and then somebody crashed. I was like, "This is awesome." and then I didn't watch the Netflix.
Secret
so,
Well, I know.
Pets or
I know. Netflix is pretty pumped up because they literally just started filming this year for the golf version of the F1, and a lot's happened.
Yeah, that's.
oh,
gonna
like
be
Live?
Like
Yeah, they're doing like.
I think Dustin Johnson was one of the
they're
guys
following like JT and a bunch of guys.
Spieth.
Oh, so they're gonna be cutting
So-
promos.
Live and PGA?
No. I think just PGA. So if
So
they
not
were
Dustin
following,
Johnson?
If they were following DJ, I assume that, all right, DJ, I don't think you're going to be in the show anymore.
So they're going to show the meeting where.
Well, maybe just the
Monahan-
major he was in. They maybe were filming there.
Definitely.
Follow him at the PGA events, and then they follow Justin Thomas when Monahan said, "Oh, we've got 160 million more bucks to give away."
Probably.
And Justin Thomas, "Oh, that's awesome. Are they going to have that meeting in there?" or-
They were following DJ Brooks, Hovland, Shoffley, Fleetwood, Bubba Watson, and Serge Garcia.
A lot of live golfers in there.
60%.
That's all live, I feel like.
All right, we're back in about 2 minutes with hour 3. Rappaport will join us in about 10 minutes, and then I'm off to South Kakalaka for SmackDown tonight, and the boys take it home with a great giveaway to wrap up this first NFL game of the season week that we've had.
Oh, yeah.
It's an honor to be here. See you in 2 minutes. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, you know, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, you know, here's the thing when some people say, "Oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer." It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them. Nice. But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you're pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start
you know,
self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused, they'll say, "Yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head." No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
I went to one of his shows. He forced me into doing, he's wearing football pants.
I think Mark
had actual knee pads. Does he have a fake face on?
Yeah, he has a fake face on. That is not Chris Angel. That or he's been eating McDonald's with Mark Davis for the last 5 years.
I just want to let everybody know.
Straight to his face.
I just want to let everybody know this is NFL related. Okay? We have to talk about it.
Yes. Have to cover it. Why is his penis a different color?
He's wearing football pants.
Tony, that's a
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this Feel Good Friday, August 5th, 2022. Sports talk continues right now.
Here we go, out of it.
He tried to ruin
Yeah,
it.
He just
deliberately
throws up.
trying to sabotage it. You fucking
I was trying to get it on
saboteur.
time.
No, you're a piece of shit. You know it.
Sack of wine.
Uh-oh.
AJ's a saboteur. Why you so immature? It's accurate, sure, and I'm so sure that AJ's an asshole.
Well said.
Why you gotta do that, dude? Why'd you try to ruin it? You saw the boys work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prick.
Last
How
hour.
did I try to ruin it? By getting on
You had word vomit, dude. We all saw it. Literally, you're right there. I could see.
I didn't hear you.
I don't know if you know this, okay? I could see you right there when I'm looking at you, right here. You see me looking at you?
I see you. Put your finger down.
They're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Looking at you right there. You fucker.
Remember, when you got 2 eyes looking at us, you got 8 looking back at you.
This is it. This is it.
I'm not pointing at you.
This is it.
What?
In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. We are in the middle of a massive decision that needs to be made. What will get into football season? What won't? This show begins now.
Here we go, baby.
See?
Can't hear me?
That's it. We mute his mic.
Yeah.
We mute his mic at the beginning of the hours. Lee, keep it going because you
Done.
guys crushed it that time.
Thank
To
you.
my
Let's
left,
go.
your right, the saboteur, AJ Hawk. Thank you, AJ.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
There you go, AJ. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Toxic Table at Ty Schmidt at Boston Connor. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs. And then all the boys behind the glass. Foxy, great to have you back.
Thank you, boys.
That a baby Zito. Hey, cut off hoodie season for Zito. You look great the past 2 days, pal.
Thank you. New diet. No big deal.
Are
I'm
you?
working hot.
Are you on a new diet?
Oh, yeah.
What are the goals? What are the plans? What are we doing?
Ooh,
So
like
it's like low carb meals
Okay.
and 3 meals a day.
Congrats. Here we go.
Baby Z.
You're allowed to get back into shape. You're allowed to go ahead and take control of yourself before getting back out there. I'm proud of you,
Hell yeah.
and I'm incredibly pumped for you. What are the goals here? Do we have goals? Have we mapped those out yet?
Just be yoked as fuck.
Well, okay,
Yes.
so
Top of the list.
Good goal. Good goal.
I'm with Z.
I don't know if that
Okay,
is
yo.
necessarily like a determined destination, but I appreciate
Maybe
that.
just live longer. Maybe that's another one.
All right, how about this? You live longer than you would have earlier. I'll give you $50,000 back. Boom! All right, way to go, AJ. Or
Did a
Zito.
licensed physician give you this plan, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice.
Oh, 3
Okay,
meals
so
a
there
day.
has to be some thought out.
Yeah, it's all
Goals.
planned out. Yeah.
Congratulations, man. I'm
Are
proud
the
of you.
meals made for you?
Good job, Z.
I asked that question knowing who gave him the plan, and boy, Zito
yeah.
went high up for the plan.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Schlegel?
Dr. Joe Rogan?
Bob Carpenter?
I believe he went to a trainer of
MLB team.
of a professional team.
Mark
What?
McGuire?
Mike Barwas? Did you really?
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fucking proud of you. I'm happy for you too, man. And I like that we're automatically just going straight into sleeveless hoodies as soon as we start.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
It's a
go,
mindset.
Zito. Let's go.
Iron Paradise.
Hey, the Hawk House and Nick's back there, and Nick had Dairy Queen Blizzard at 10:30 a.m.
That boy Nick.
It's delicious, yeah.
Nick, it was
kind?
awesome.
Yeah.
There's Oreo with some, threw some M&Ms in there as well, just for, you know.
Very good.
You know,
Very good.
McDonald's Blizzard or Frosty machine is always broken.
Sure.
Yeah.
That Blizzard was able to get here at 10:15 a.m.
No big
I
deal.
have no idea how one works all the time, even when times
Wow.
that probably you would never expect it to work, and the other place it never works. But Nick, I appreciate the fact that you know that with your build, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And
Thank
I
you, guys.
respect that.
Thank you. I do it for you guys, honestly, to be somewhat of an inspiration.
When I was going through my SummerSlam training there, and I was doing keto, every morning, Nick would order some heart attack from somewhere, and I would sit there, I'd look at it, I'd close my eyes, I'd smell it. Like, all right, I just tasted and walked away. So I appreciate your service.
Anything for you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank
That
you.
boy Nick.
Hey, Z.
Go ahead.
Z, don't be scared to put on 20 or 30 pounds of muscle, too, during this process.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's what he said.
You
He's
can do
getting
that.
yoked.
Yeah,
Yo,
get fucking
yo,
That's what I'm
baby.
saying. That's how you get in shape. You resistance train. And then if you want to do cardio, walk, do whatever, do it.
All right, so let's talk about it. Saw Matt Rule this morning on TV. He's lost a shit ton of weight. Did you see that?
I did not see it, no.
He's lost a bunch of weight. It had to have been something he was focusing on this offseason, or maybe because these coaches get into these cycles where they sleep at the office, especially if there's a lot of pressure on them and they're not winning. They eat terribly.
Yep.
They drink more coffee to stay awake longer. They watch more film. They eat terribly again.
Right.
And whenever they can catch a 20-minute nap, they'll do that instead of doing something functional. I've seen coaches that have real problems with this gain like 35, 40 pounds during the season. I mean, that is a real thing.
A lot of them.
Yes, like very normal. That's like a very normal thing. And it's not good 35, 40 pounds. It's like the worst possible 30.
No,
beers,
they're killing themselves much quicker than the normal human.
beers too. You know, beers and
Right.
booze and food
Right.
and
No
sleep.
sleep. The sleep has got to be killing them quick. That's the problem, I think.
So seeing Matt Rule lose weight, like I was incredible. It's
Yeah.
not easy to do. Like losing weight is not easy to do. But he did not do any like bodybuilding. It seems like he was just dieting and cardioing. I think what AJ's saying to Zito is like, hey, let's Let's use that hawk ass too.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, AJ? Is that what you're
Look how
saying?
big he is. Zeke is already jacked. Like, can you imagine? Like, I bet Zeke can bench 405 for 15 reps.
I saw Shannon Sharp doing that this morning on his Instagram. Did you see that?
Not this morning, but I've seen Shannon's stuff. That dude, I mean, you got to be kidding me. That his build, how strong he is, and what he looks like.
He's at like 425 right now. Bench.
How old is he? Is he 50 something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Hey, okay, Shannon. I want to see you go back to your high school reunion. I'm sure everybody looks like you, right?
Could you imagine him walking into the high school reunion and then being like, Shannon looks exactly the same?
Is he a student? Is this kid, is he still in high school?
He looks yeah, what was it? 425, 405?
425, I thought.
Jeez.
Look at this. Reps.
No spotter.
For reps.
Jesus.
And he's chiseled too. Like
Yeah.
Still got it. Oh. This
Crazy.
morning he was on another place.
Yeah.
Let's get him. Him and Skip were not in the studio today. And Skip posted something about how he was in his all-black drip Bayless. Nobody can beat him. You know, MJ Forever photo that he posts. You know, whenever he needs to get jacked up for a big-time day. They weren't in the studio today. What's that all about?
I don't know, Shannon.
I like that show. I enjoy that show. I enjoy Shannon Sharp a lot.
Well, Skip's a huge workout guy, right? And he always posting pictures shirtless.
He's yoked.
I mean, what's Claudine? What's his wife's name?
Ernestine.
Ernestine. Close.
Ernestine. She seems to be like a real G.
Like
though.
Ernestine went to Skip's house?
That's Ernest.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Ernest
Ernest
is the
goes to jail. Yeah,
That's
Jim
a
Barney.
series.
May he rest in peace. Yeah.
Oh, he's dead?
We'll have a moment of silence
Yes.
for Ernest. Moment passed. Rest in peace, Jim. Let's go to the fence. Before we get Ian Rappaport on the show, let's go to TJ in Morgantown, West Virginia. TJ, the backyard brawl, officially a sellout in Pittsburgh to kick off this college football season. West Virginia's going to go in there, do their thing.
Right.
Happy to have it back. TJ in Morgantown, what do you want to talk about, buddy?
Absolutely, Pat. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm also here as a cheerleader, so I will be at that game
Let's
up in
go.
Pittsburgh. Real quick, want to give a big bear Dahn to Zito, also from Chicago. AJ, hated you as a Packer, loved you as a fan of this show. But my question to you, Pat, is with all of these new contracts that are coming out, you know, Mahomes signed that deal back in 2020, kind of reset the QB market. What is it, you know, who do you think is going to be the next quarterback that is going to basically reset the market like that before, you know, his deal is kind of like obsolete sort of in terms of contracts?
Great question, TJ. I don't think it's going to be Mitchell Trubisky. Good question. Good answer, AJ. It's either Lamar, Herbert, or Burrow. You know, we don't know who and how it's going to go. We think one more year, and then it'll be towards training camp when this deal will get done, and it'll be a big one. Lamar, I'm excited to see how that ends up panning out because he's given some clues, you know, that he is potentially in negotiation and looking to get a deal done. But then the Ravens publicly have said he didn't want to get a deal done, but now they're saying they're keeping business tight, which is sometimes somebody tweeted, I don't even know if it was our next guest, said sometimes that's how business is done. It's like, no, like behind closed doors is how business is done a lot of the time, actually. But joining us now is a man who'll probably have the answers to all that and more. Senior NFL insider for the NFL itself and the network that the NFL owns and the subscription service NFL Plus that the NFL owns, as marketed last night. Streaming games on your phone anywhere sounds like a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
they can bundle that into the Sunday ticket package too and sell that for even more money. The NFL is always cooking, just like this man is. Ladies and gentlemen, host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being friends, he being Rap Sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
Wow. What do you mean, oh, God? We're
Oh,
good.
it was on us. That was on us. That was on us.
Okay.
We had you muted. We apologize. We couldn't hear a word you were saying. You looked great. You looked really smart. You're on your training camp tour, so you got some good sun, it looks like, but we couldn't hear a word you were saying. What did you say, pal?
I said, what's up, guys?
Hey, good to see you, man. How's the training camp tour
Yeah.
going? You getting tired? You sleeping on buses, hotels? What are you doing?
I'm sleeping on planes, and I'm sleeping a little bit in hotel rooms. I've gotten up every morning to exercise, which is the only way you can keep sane and be a human doing this. It is awesome. I'm at the Saints today, and they've been very helpful and getting some good insight, seeing some high-level practice. It's been awesome, actually. Really cool.
Okay, well, let's dive into what you've seen, what you've heard. Obviously, the world saw you get thrown directly under a bus by James Palmer yesterday.
Yikes.
And when we saw it, we all felt for you in the whole situation because obviously that isn't something that's great. And Rappaport wouldn't You know?
No.
Because although people think this guy is a fucking robot, I think he has proved on this show actually human,
Good
actually
guy.
funny,
Good guy.
and good dude. So let's talk about your training camp tour. You're down in New Orleans right now, so let's break it down. Jameis is the guy. Jameis is the starter. And how do they feel about it? They got weapons down there.
Mm-hmm.
They got a defense down there. They got a left tackle out of Northern Iowa who seems to be a fucking dog. Fighting everybody. What's the feel at Saints camp down there, Ian Rappaport?
All right. So first of all, I think Jameis has been fine. You know, physically, I have to keep reminding myself that I'm not saying Jameis is Joe Burrow, but last year at the beginning of the season, Joe Burrow was not like the Burrow we saw in the Super Bowl, right? Like it takes a while, it takes a month at least into the season to recover from an ACL. We may see that with Jameis, where he's not what he needs to be early. He just has to kind of manage. This is a talented team. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like this was a really, really high level practice. Saw Michael Thomas run a bunch of routes today. He looked, I thought, excellent. Like I don't want to like do this where you see one practice, you blow it out of proportion.
Oh, we've been doing it all day. We've been doing it all day.
all
Off
right,
of
cool.
one play, not even one practice, one play out of practice.
He looked awesome, and I mean, secondary's really, really deep. Like if Jameis is just fine, I think the Saints are going to be like looking at a playoff team, and the weapons. You know, Jarvis has been good. Olave's sounds like he's really smart, so he's picking it up well. Like Saints are going to be good.
Does it look any different though without Sean Payton there? Have they changed how they practice? What's the offensive play calling look like?
I did get a chance to talk to Pete Carmichael a little bit today, the offensive coordinator. Sounds like it'll be similar, with a little more of like, you know, a little away from Breeze, with a little more of what Jameis could do. So maybe a little more, you know, movement stuff, a little more deep shots. It probably look the same. It is, you know, how do I say this? When Sean Payton was here,
go on.
Something small would happen, and it would become a very big deal because sometimes he would react in a very vociferous way.
Okay, all right.
It is not like that now.
Okay, a little more relaxed.
Yeah, and like, you know, Dennis Allen, I think, means business on the field to off the field. It is a very different feel here, which I think is probably what was necessary in this building. Let me just say it that way.
A lot of different ways to win. I've been a part of a couple different operations, you know, whether it's super, hey, every little thing is going to be picked apart and you are going to probably not get along with everybody that's yelling at you all the time. And then I've been a part of some, hey, we're all in this together. Let's work for each other and next to each other and with each other. There's different ways to win. I'm excited to hear that they are evolving. I want to go to last night's game. Josh Jacobs got a lot of snaps, right? They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. Is he on the move? And what's that mean, you think, for all parties involved and maybe teams that are looking for a great running back right now?
So, you know, there's a lot of things that'll happen in the preseason where you're like, you know, a guy's taking reps with the twos, and you're like, that doesn't mean very much. I thought this was kind of noteworthy. You know, I thought it was definitely a thing. I mean, they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. You know, I'm not saying they're going to trade him, obviously, but it was clear to me he's got some work to do. And you know, I don't think it was anything more than they needed him to get reps get real game reps. But then it's like, why did they need to get him to get game reps? Like,
yes.
Obviously, they need to see something. They need to see him in this offense. They need to see live action. Like it was, I definitely took note of that. And they didn't pick up his option. It sounds like he's got a lot to prove, and that's okay. But was definitely not something where I'm like, this doesn't mean anything. Like, it meant something.
Boston Connor pointed out the fact that Josh McDaniels' New England way, like New England way running back ways, it's going to be a stable, and we're not going to pick up the next contract. Somebody else can do that, and then we'll do it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Josh Jacobs and Josh McDaniels have a better relationship than it looks, and maybe we're just misreading a fucking Hall of Fame game that means nothing. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? But you're right. Like, Belichick was quoted the other day as saying he doesn't care about fantasy football. And anyone who has ever had to start a Patriots running back knows that, because it is so bad. You'll start like James White and he'll get like 2 carries and none in the goal line. You're like, great. That's the way. Like, that's the way they do it in New England. Everyone has a very specific role. And like Josh Jacobs is not in that mold. It was noteworthy to me.
Do you have your ear to the ground or across the entire NFL, or are you just locked in on all the training camps you're going to?
I tried to keep it ear to the ground everywhere. Because
Joe
that's one thing,
Flacco
like,
starting for the Jets. Joe Flacco dominant up there with New York, and is Robert
saw
Saleh
it.
like, hey, no quarterback that's Bone's mom's friends is going to be my quarterback. Is that what's happening, or is it just a Joe Flacco is the perfect backup for Zach Wilson in New York situation, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Saleh was trying to make a point of how Flacco could still do it if he needs to. But look, everyone in that Jets building is invested in Zach being the guy. If he is the guy there, they're all going to be gainfully employed and winning for a very long time. It is the best case scenario for everyone is that Zach Wilson is the franchise starter. But it was interesting last year when he was injured, and obviously, like, I think it went a little bit too fast for him last year. It sounds like he worked insanely hard, got in his own head a little bit, and it was just too fast for him. The fact that some other quarterbacks came in and thrived while he didn't.
What was that guy's
like,
name?
Remember Mike
White.
Mike was, I think it was Mike Blank White was the. Yeah.
Mike White, right? White.
Yeah.
Yeah, White Lightning.
I saw him at the Colts game,
Yeah, you did.
up close and personal.
Slinging it.
Roll cross body, first play, dime. Then he got a phantom injury to his forearm, I think.
Yep.
Couldn't feel the ball. And then after the game, he said, I finally got feeling back, but it was just too late or whatever. It was like, what? And then we never heard from Mike White again. He had a hell of a run.
Oh, yeah, 400 yards first start.
Jets.
My God.
Beat the Bengals.
Jets
Yeah.
never get talked about anywhere outside of New York, though, because they
Beat
stink.
the Bengals. That's right. Wow.
Yeah, Mike White was.
I mean, that is wow.
What, Ian? What, you surprised? You don't
No, it's just I had sort of like putting that in a weird place in my brain where I sort of didn't remember that. That's crazy to think about. But it is the point I'm making is like
sometimes you got to eliminate
Other stuff
some
at the
memory
front.
so
Yeah.
better stuff comes in. That's what he said.
Absolutely the case. But it is a good sign that the offense can work. And like to see someone come in, just do the job of a quarterback, distribute as you need, go through the reads, it can work. They just got to get Zach. They just got to get Zach on the same page and doing it. I know there's optimism there, but you have to see it. You just have to see it.
It was good to see other quarterbacks have success in that offense because it's like, hey, the offense can work.
Yeah.
All right. What was that, LaFleur? That's a LaFleur calling plays over there.
That's a Mike LaFleur, not a Matt LaFleur. Yeah.
There we go. Two LaFleurs calling plays, seeing how it goes. Maybe Zach Wilson's the guy. Maybe he's not. Maybe it's footsteps. You're an idiot. Go ahead, Tone.
Ian, you're gonna have to let me know if this is a story or not because it feels like it's building a little bit. McVay said Stafford's elbow is a tricky deal. It's abnormal for a quarterback, more so things that MLB pitchers deal with, and they're learning more about it on the fly. Is that something that we should worry about?
He's got Roethlisberger. What was that? That's the
tennis
elbow.
Tommy John.
He's got Tommy John. Is that what it is? This guy's played with a broken neck.
Jesus.
Yeah, it is, again, similar to the Josh Jacobs thing. Like, this is not nothing. It's a quarterback. It is an arm. I mean, look, it's Super Bowl champion who is not throwing. There's going to be several practices where he's not going to throw. It was described to me as thrower's elbow, which is basically a pitcher injury where you have a tendon issue in your elbow, and you have to kind of manage it. He had a little
called it thrower's elbow.
Nobody's ever called
No,
it.
that's
Is this in
people
your
are gonna
How
call
long
it-
has this been going on, Ian?
Tennis elbow.
No, hold on. I think people are going to start calling this now thrower's elbow.
Yeah. Oh, so you're setting this? You're naming the?
No, I'm not naming it. I'm just saying. Listen, if you guys don't start calling it thrower's elbow, then we don't love each other like I thought we did.
So what happened? You just made this up? This is tennis elbow? You're
No,
trying to
I didn't-
talk tennis?
Rappaport elbow. Give you credit.
Oh, the rap sheet elbow. The sheet
Wait,
bow.
kind of like Tommy John surgery, where you name
Which,
it after.
is that
the
what
first
it
pitch,
is? Is that what it is? Is that
No,
what he's going to?
it's
No,
not.
it's not Tommy John. It's not tennis elbow. It's something different?
I don't know if it's something different from tennis elbow. All I know is it was described as like a bad tendonitis, basically a tendon issue in his elbow. That he got a PRP deal in the offseason. It's not quite where he needs to be. I think they're going to manage it and be okay. But anytime your quarterback is not throwing, it is important and something worth watching.
We did a quick Google check. I guess it is a little bit different than tennis elbow. Can't wait to hear what it is and hope Stafford's able to continue to play. Just signed his biggest extension. It's the most popular he's ever been, the most success he's ever had, and him and Cooper Kupp appear to be on the same damn page.
Yep.
That's a massive blow if he's out for any amount of time for real. Go ahead, AJ.
Ian, what about the New York Giants? I'm seeing a lot of clips come out of their one-on-ones, with Thibodeau and Evan Neal. They're making a big deal out of their one-on-ones. What's that battle been like?
I think it's really cool, and the only thing the Giants want out of this is, well, this actually might be nothing, but the other stuff was definitely something. It's like all anyone wants to know: is it a thing or is it not a thing? I just think the main thing for the Giants is, they got some questions. They got the Daniel Jones question. They got how good is Saquon going to be? How effective is it? They got some of that stuff, and they got some stuff to be excited about. And I think what the very good social media teams out there do is they say, here's what we can be excited about. And the hope is that, they got some really, really good pieces to build around for the next 5 or 10 years. And Thibodeau should be one of them. Sounds like Thomas has been really good. He should be another one.
I don't want to go back in subjects, but Zito just sent in a definition of thrower's elbow. Should be alarmed.
Let's hear it.
Should be alarmed.
Oh. Really?
Yes. Unlike tennis elbow, which predominantly affects the lateral side, which would be the outside of the elbow, and golfer's elbow, which predominantly affects the medial side, the inside of the elbow, thrower's elbow affects both the inside and the outside of the elbow. Our elbow team wants to help you to full recovery. I assume he found this from a company that is probably like
that has an elbow team.
That Will Smith was like with a CTE.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
This doctor probably found it and was like, "Hey, you've heard of tennis elbow? Yeah, that's half. You heard of golfer's elbow? Yeah, thrower's elbow is fucking both of them. That is a big deal. This is all of a sudden a bigger deal, isn't it, Ian?
I mean, the quarterback is not throwing for several days, and he had treatment on. The PRP is not a. Have you ever had that? It's not a surgery. It's a procedure. I don't know.
It's an injection, I think, right? Isn't it?
It's an injection. Yeah.
Take your blood, spin it, put the platelets back.
It's Armstrong, I think, right?
He was blood doping.
Isn't that the same? Taking blood
Allegedly.
out? But so when what Lance Armstrong did, he took the blood out, they pumped in more oxygen, and then he pumped it in, back into him? Seriously, this is a real question.
Isn't that what? Yeah, I think that's what happened.
And then the PRP, I think they take it out, and then they filter it maybe, and then they put it back in, right?
I know
they
there's
spin
some
it and
spinning
shoot your
that
plasma
goes on.
back in.
Yeah.
They shoot your plasma back in. So what's that do? Because when they remove the blood, your body creates the blood to make up for that blood. Then when you shoot that in, you have extra blood in. I think the way Armstrong was using it is they were putting in more oxygen. So he had more blood and more oxygen allegedly in his blood. If the documentaries that were definitely not trying to paint Lance in a good light were accurate. The PRP thing is something, it is different, but it's a similar process, right? I think. I don't want to, it's not illegal. I know it's not illegal. A lot of people do it.
Right. A lot of people do it, and it's apparently can be very, very effective. I just know when he did it, came back to camp, and his elbow wasn't quite where it needed to be, which, again, it's not alarming, but it's not what you want either, because quarterbacks should be throwing a lot in camp and should be getting on the same page with everyone, and, there's a lot of work that can happen, and he's not able to do that. So I don't think it's we don't have to cancel the season or anything, but they're definitely going to have to manage it, and I think they are trying to be proactive and just keeping him off the field now to do that.
All right, I know the boys have quick questions for you, and you have a lot of time to do TV, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the precedent that is currently being set with the Deshaun Watson case. You and I and AJ have talked about this for months now, and it turns out everything me and AJ said was right, by the way. Mm-hmm. So, not Roger Goodell's in charge.
Go figure.
Yeah, well, that is not normal. So whenever we get this, we do have to take a victory lap. And that is what we are currently doing. We knew that this was inevitably going to end up being Roger Goodell's decision because he superseded Sue L. Robinson's. Now, they're appealing that. Are they worried about the look of future situations like this, that the NFL has basically told Sue Robinson, your ruling isn't exactly what we wanted, so we'll change it? And then Roger Goodell appointing somebody else to do this, Harvey, I believe, out of New Jersey or whatever. Is this going to be the new standard? And why do you think this is what Roger Goodell is choosing to do?
Well, I would say precedent-wise, this is part of the process that was negotiated, right? So you have a neutral arbitrator, which was Sue L. Robinson, make the judgment, make the decision, kind of go through, process all of that, and all of that stands. But what the designee, in this case, the designee can do is basically reinterpret the data, not relitigate, but reinterpret the data and see if it's any different. So it is part of the process. It was written in, so it's not like they've destroyed precedent here. But it is obviously something that we are all learning on the fly about how this is all going to go, because this is the first time it's been this way. Usually Roger Goodell was the first, judge, jury, and whatever. Now he is at least the second. And then, what's going to be interesting here is, one, they're going to take the weekend. NFLPA has a brief that's due today, I believe. Then they'll take the weekend. So there's a chance next week we get a ruling. Do the two sides negotiate and come up with a settlement between that time and this time? Because that would, if there's some number that and maybe a fine that they can agree on, then it keeps it out. It means it's not going to dominate the headlines the whole year. If there is a ruling that Deshaun Watson, the PA, does not like, then they're likely going to federal court, which means months. And months of discussion.
And I think, I don't know if it was Florio or somebody with a law background, basically said him being able to play like Tom Brady was whenever they were up in appeals and everything isn't just like a matter of fact. Like, just if he says it doesn't mean like he's definitely going to get to play if it's held up in appeals court week 7 after this thing if he decides to sue. They said there's a lot of other shit that has to take place. What's most likely, you think, Ian? And I know you can't deal with this because you are journalists and you are an insider and everything. There's two options. What's being laid out? An entire year suspension or less than a year suspension, more than 6 games plus a big fine and big treatment. Are we missing anything, or is that basically what you're hearing as well?
Well, I think
Charles Robinson
options
was one, and Charles Robinson reported that. Charles Robinson.
Right. Yeah, there was actually a pretty good article he wrote on Yahoo that just lays out all of the different. Basically all of the different stuff.
Yahoo's still
kicking,
still going. Charles Robinson is maybe coding it and writing.
They've never.
Go on.
Poor Yahoo.
Anyway, good for Yahoo.
Yeah.
This is good for Yahoo. I don't think it's poor Yahoo. A lot of people did poor Yahoo years ago. Moment of silence. It's like, no. Yahoo's still going, and Charles is still killing it. Wild. Still absolutely killing it.
Whenever they wanted me to use the Yahoo search engine, I'm like, come on, guys.
See, now poor Yahoo.
Being an asshole about
there's
it.
no reason for you to bury them. Look at this,
Google has a great search engine.
Fantastic. It helps with YouTube.
Yeah.
It is far superior.
Oh, yeah.
Cream of the crop.
It has been good. But Yahoo did there for a bit. They hired Charles Robinson.
I'm in Bing.
Oh.
Same thing.
Ask is another one.
Jeeves.
Wow, we saw that.
AOL have one?
Sorry. Yeah.
Anyways.
There was a time when, just real quick. There was a time when I accidentally clicked that Bing should be my go-to search engine, and I couldn't figure out how to get it off. It was
that's a problem. Anyways, Charles laid those two things out. Charles works for Yahoo.
Yes.
Still a thing. He laid those two punishments out. Year-long suspension or less than a year suspension with a fine and treatment. Is that what you're hearing as well? And does anybody have a clue, because we've never experienced this before?
What's going to be interesting for me is the NFL and the NFLPA had settlement talks right up until the ruling. And obviously didn't result in a settlement because we heard Sue L. Robinson's 6-game suspension.
Did we know they were having settlement conversations?
Yeah, I think there was some. I think you and I discussed it kind of leading up that there was some conversation.
AJ, you remember that?
Not really, because no, not until recently.
Did we not? Well,
oh yeah, you were keeping it to yourself. Sweet, thanks.
Yep,
classic.
Anyway, it was happening. I will be curious to see if the league goes back to saying it needs to be a full year, or if they kind of get back to the table and say, like, you know what, let's kind of handle this now, and let's, if Deshaun Watson and his people believe it is going to be more than 6 games, which makes sense because it is now in the hands of Roger Goodell's designee, can they come up with some sort of number of games that everybody can live with? That's kind of the real question. So is it 10? Is it 12? I know the league is pushing for a year, but you do wonder if there's a sweet spot in there that makes sense for all sides to kind of to handle it now, have him suspended, and be done with it. I want to go back to something you mentioned before. This is not like the Ezekiel Elliott thing where he was contesting the suspension in general when he played several games. The NFLPA and Deshaun Watson are not contesting the 6-game suspension. So either way, even if they go to federal court, he is going to be out, almost certainly going to be out the first 6 games. The question really is what happens in the 7th game. That's where the debate is going to kind of start if they go the federal court route.
Connor, go ahead, pal.
Yeah, Rapshi, you were at the Broncos camp yesterday, I believe. How big of a loss is the Tim Patrick? And also, what would you put the over-under at for amount of let's rides you heard while you were there?
I heard so many.
Hell yeah.
I mean, and not just from Russ. It's like everyone, almost everyone I saw, players, staffers, other media people. I know Let's Ride is sort of taking on a little bit of a life of its own. I blame you guys, honestly, for that.
It's very cool.
Pretty much it's all you guys, actually. That and the wearing the jersey to that they also got a lot of discussion there.
Awesome
as well.
move. That was foolish.
Yeah, boss move. I think the Tim Patrick thing will hurt, but like he is a 2/3 receiver. You have Jerry Jeudy, who's really talented, should be good. You have Cortland Sutton, who's having a really nice camp. They got some young guys. They should be okay. As I had one of the coaches there was telling me, like, if we can't overcome the loss of Tim Patrick, then like we're not as good as we think. So I think they are going to be okay. You just hope that this is the last like big loss for a while, because if these start stacking up, it's not good.
Rap Sheet, have you heard anything from Carolina in terms of, like, is Baker going to start, or is that still an actual QB competition down there? Because from everything we've seen with, like, the videos, it kind of looks like Baker is getting a lion's share of the one reps, and he probably is going to end up starting.
Yeah, I would say it kind of feels like that to me, too. I will be down there. Why is this freezing? I don't know. Shafty internet. I'll be down there in a couple of days, so I will have a full report from you from where will I be? Spartanburg, I believe.
Hell yeah, nice.
But it does Spartanburg, yeah. But it does feel like that's the direction it's going. I mean, I think they are going to have a real competition, but you traded for Baker Mayfield. You know what he can do. He's taken the team to the playoffs. Sam Darnold, you have some more questions. Played well at times last year, other times not as well. Like, it would make sense if Baker is the starter, but you'd like for him to earn it, and it does feel like it's headed in that direction. But I look forward to getting there and kind of seeing from the ground and getting a feel for kind of what's going on in Carolina and how unbelievably hot it's going to be in Spartanburg.
Make sure you check on Corral, too. I'm hearing he might be a starter, okay, Ian?
I will check on Corral.
All right, Pat had to go to SmackDown. He sent his best to you. Safe travels to you, Ian. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Wait, he didn't stay around for the goodbye?
Do you want to miss his flight?
Yeah, come on.
Gotta get out of here.
Sheet.
Wow. All right. No, this is... I'm okay. I'm fine.
You'll be all right.
No, it seems like you hate us, Ian. Is what it seems like.
I love you. Hey, by the way, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh in a couple of days.
I know.
Make sure to have a good update for you guys.
Thank you. Give me all the inside tidbits on that, too. Thank you.
I got you. I won't tell Pat. I'll tell you.
Safe travels, Ian. Thank
Say hi
you.
to Muse.
Thank
Take
you,
care,
Rap. All right, we're going to go to a break. On the other side, we will do a giveaway. We'll probably do some phone calls. We'll probably grill AJ about his flag football team. Actually, tackle football team.
Yeah, that's right.
Dirtbag, too.
Yes, Pat went to SmackDown. Make sure you check that out tonight, 8 p.m. on Fox.
That's right.
We'll be back. We'll see you in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
Now it's time for SmackDown Rumble Championship Weekend.
We just had another Super Boost.
Oh, yeah. What a fucking 3-day run. I'm lucky to live this life, and I'm thankful that you all watch.
Hey, here we go.
Gotta get a no call to quit. Yeah, gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah, better move out the way 'cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of it. You might get my home. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
Please work with Gary. Hey, my dude.
Squeeze the bike. Yeah. Softball? Yeah. Wow. That's what I was trying to do. All right, well, see you later. Have a good time. I'm giddy. I am so pumped. It's like the night before the first day of school when you were a kid. I know it's being said that the GOAT of the
NFL, Tom Brady is retiring. Will the GOAT of the WWE, Roman Reigns, is in his prime at his peak. Hey, happy birthday! Happy birthday! All right, our sources haven't confirmed whether or not Drew McIntyre can be standing up, but come on, Cole! Come on, Cole! Feel it, Cole!
You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get
Coltrane has gone to the sky.
Sometimes just down, wanna when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The road switching to the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. Where's that? Guess what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. You still got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them.
Oh, fuck you, Pin.
Cole, that is one of the worst of all time.
The worst pours of all time. And a baby Foxy! Just so everybody knows, it is noon right now. And a blue stick. Chameleon gold and magenta jacket. Big Cuban link. Obviously, good launch. Pinky chain. Gold plated Steve Madden's. When I woke up this morning in beautiful St. Louis, the air smelled better. Food tasted better. Tonight, dreams come true. Surprises are in abundance. It's Royal Rumble. Let's go!
It is an honor to see the man. Once your ratings get this low, then I'll come to Buffalo. That's why you're a good guy.
A jackass has entered the Royal Rumble. Jack, great to see Wee Man is still alive after Brock Lesnar put him through a 4 seasons table last night. He is dressed like a jackass. He is a jackass, and he's in the Royal Rumble. Takes down Sami Zayn. He looks good. It sounds good. St. Louis is ready. The alpha male of our species is infuriated. Jump over the rope back, buddy. You got 2 tours. You got fans. You got music to make. You want to poop your pants immediately? Be in the Royal Rumble when this man is announced. I'm buying all of the depends that they have because Brock Lesnar, after a brutal fight with Bobby Lashley, comes into the Royal Rumble. It is an absolute ass-kicking machine. We just had another Super Boost. Back to back. Back to hey, back. What?
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Pat has taken off, going to South Carolina, somewhere down there for SmackDown tonight, live at 8 p.m. on Fox. I'm here, AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat the rest of the time. The boys are all still back in Indianapolis. Everyone, you guys still back there?
Hell yeah. Hey, buddy.
No.
Oh, there you go. Diggs, I know Conman is not there. We can mute his mic if we need to. But Diggs, I know we have a giveaway to start up. I want you to let the people know what we're giving away.
All right. This week, because it is Friday, we are doing a giveaway.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The hashtag is hashtag PMS football is back.
Yes.
Hashtag PMS FOOTBALLISBACK. Hashtag football is back. Make sure you put your cash. Oh, yeah. Hashtag PMS football is back. I said that, right?
Oh, yeah. You did.
Hashtag PMS football is back. Make sure you put your cash tag in the tweet. This week for hashtag PMS football is back. We want you to tell us who you're most excited about in training camp. Who the beat reporters got you excited about?
Piqued your interest.
Like for the Steelers, George Pickens, dog. Okay.
Dog.
For
Packers, Romeo, dog.
Romeo, dog.
For Patriots, Cole Strange,
dog. Okay, so hashtag PMS football is back. Make sure your cash tag is in. What? He is a first round pick.
He is the.
How's he doing? I'm asking about him for real though, Con. I know there was a lot of people felt multiple different ways about him. Is he doing all right?
10 winners, $500.
Hell yeah. I mean, yeah, he's doing fine. New scheme for the offense, so it's a learning period.
What's Tommy Curran saying about him?
I don't care what Tommy Curran is saying about him, okay? But I don't. There's a lot of mixed reports.
Is he not doing well?
The second, no, I don't know how he's doing, to be completely honest with you. There's some good things, some bad things. A lot of Belichick coaching him up on the side.
That's good.
But Tyquan Thornton, the second-round pick from Baylor, actually has had a couple good days of practice this week, so we're excited about him too.
Oh, are we? We're pretty excited about it, huh, Con?
Yeah, he's got burners, fastest receiver at the combine. And as we know, whoever the fastest receiver at the combine usually is a stud. John Ross, duh.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm just excited about Mac Jones, baby. Football's back. Who cares what's going on in camp, We'll see what happens.
Mac Jones, though, in New England is an absolute superstar.
Yeah, Mac Jones is the guy in New England.
That's Philly. That's actually Philly's
Yeah,
core.
that's what Philly says about him all the time. But no, yeah, Mac's looking great. It's his team now. It's a much different vibe, and he was there all offseason, which you'll love to hear about, and he's the one that kind of knows the offense. But the real thing is, they're not even at the point now where they can even, check plays at the line, which is kind of a problem. Honestly, everything coming out of camp is kind of worrying me, more so than getting me pumped. But, there's still plenty of time left, and,
Is Patricia calling the plays?
Patricia is definitely the OC, is what everyone's saying right now, yeah.
So is it? Well, you never know with the Patriots. I wonder if he's going to be the one radioed into Mac's helmet. Is he right now?
Yeah, right now he's the one with the walkie-talkie. So he's
that's a huge adjustment. A huge adjustment for the team for Mac Jones. McDaniel's this guy who was an unbelievable play caller, offensive play caller for years and years, and now not saying Patricia isn't. We just don't know. He hasn't done it, and now all of a sudden he's the voice in Mac's ear, and the offense has to feel and look a little bit different, I would imagine.
Yeah, it definitely looks a lot different. The big thing is that Mac was there all offseason, and he knows the offense basically better than everybody else. The worry is, when he gets up to the line and checks a play, are these fucking guys going to know what they're checking to? That's the worry, because I feel like if Mac knows it as good as anybody, and his whole thing is that he's super smart and, he can read defenses very well, if he gets a play and then he changes at the line, I think that is probably where our best chance comes from. That's why it's just all on Mac.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen, does it? We're a guy who is known to be a defensive coach and has been primarily on the defensive side his whole career. All of a sudden is just hey, you're calling plays now. You're our OC. That really does put a shitload on Mac Jones' shoulders.
Yeah, it does. And I read something where Cliff was just talking about out in Arizona. Wasn't he trying to have Kyler radio in plays during one of their scrimmages or practices?
Oh yeah, he said sometime I don't. It's not the direct quote, but it's along the lines of he'll call a play and Kyler will roll his eyes, and then Cliff essentially is all right, motherfucker, you think it's so easy? You go ahead, call a play, see how it goes.
Yeah, he did. I mean, think about how, I know Patricia would never let us know, but I would imagine that dude's got to be kind of anxious. There's a lot riding on what he's doing.
Yeah, and it's the worry, too, is, it's just completely new. No fullback. They're saying it's much more like the McVay offense, a lot of zone runs, and then a lot of,
that's
bunch
why there's
sets.
no fullback.
Yeah, that's why there's no fullback. So it's just the whole thing is completely new. But I still have the utmost confidence in what Ty said. I remember for, at least with Bill, McDaniels when he first started coaching, and same with Patricia. Patricia was on offense, McDaniels was on defense, because he wanted them to learn that side of the ball before they were calling plays for the defense or the offense. If that makes sense.
It makes sense. So Pistol, my dad, grew up coaching my brother. He was the OC for my brother. My brother played quarterback just when you're playing before you get to school, middle school ball in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then my 6th grade year, when my brother was in middle school, Pistol came down and he was our defensive coordinator. And he would try to say, well, I already know what's really tough for me to go against when I'm calling plays offensively. So this is just natural to do this defensively.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a little different level, though. We're not talking 6th grade Weoks football.
Bingo.
So wait, what happened with Kyler? Cliff would call a play and Kyler would be like, no, PA slot wheel. I like that play better.
I don't know if he was giving him alternates. I think he would shake his head when he would hear a play coming in that he didn't like, he'd start shaking his head.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. And then apparently he made Kyler call plays.
Cliff said, "Okay, big dog, you do it."
Yeah.
Kyler was just calling
not as easy as it looks.
Kyler was just calling the bomb the entire time.
Yeah.
You think? Well, you know what? Honestly, kids
right?
growing up playing Madden, they probably do feel like they can call plays a lot better than most people.
Yeah. 4 verts out of the shotgun. Yep. Trips right. 4 verts.
Then scramble around with Kyler all day long on Madden, and then hit a deep ball for 70 yards, maybe. I would imagine.
Yeah, basically.
I want to bop around the league, Con. I don't want to cut you off. I want to bop around the league just to go to Zeke, though. I want to know how Chicago's doing. What are people – Zeke, I know you have boots on the ground there. What are they saying? Are they actually excited?
As of right now, we don't know where our old lineman's at, what position they're playing yet. They're trying to figure them out, where to put them in.
Yeah, they don't have a definitive 5 up front.
So that's
okay,
a problem.
Well, that's good.
But
this is the time when you figure that out, right?
Justin Fields looks amazing. Darnell
He
Mooney
does.
is catching the ball. Cole Kmet is catching the ball. That's all that matters.
They're going to win any games?
I don't.
Tough schedule this year.
And everyone in the division's getting better, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say more than 9 wins.
9.
There you go. I like that, Z.
Whoa. Bear down.
Okay. Nick Maraldo, what about the Steelers? I want to go to you for Steelers. I know we get Diggs Steelers take a lot. Are you feeling optimistic? I don't know if you're optimistic about much, but are you about the Steelers this year?
I think maybe more optimistic than most. I don't think my take differs that much from Tone Diggs on the Steelers, though. Like, the defense is going to be good if they play to their capacity and their level of expectedness. It's the quarterback and the offensive line. Those are the question marks. They have playmakers. They're young, but they have a lot of playmakers at the skill positions. It's a matter of can they get consistent QB play from either Mitch or Pickett, and when are they going to cut Mason Rudolph?
I mean, Mason, isn't he getting some reps with the ones?
Flashes of brilliance, they're saying.
Yeah. He went 22 or 22.
That was a fake tweet. You son of a bitch. That's a fake tweet. Mitch has apparently got like 95% of the reps with the ones. And then
how's Pickett doing?
So he wasn't doing great when it was the first week when they weren't in pads or whatever. Apparently this week, once the pads went on, he's getting much better, and he had the best practice yesterday of all the quarterbacks. So it's a good sign. I think he's getting better every single day. I was going to ask you, like, how long do you think it takes a rookie quarterback like to get their feet wet? Like, you want to see them making improvement by when?
Man, I mean, you want to see him getting better in camp. I don't know what that exactly looks like because every player out there the first year, like, there's so much on their plate. Like, all the installs you get, and I just know, like, from experience, even 10 years in, you still, like, want to make sure you know exactly what you're doing. So they install it all day long. You walk through, you do all this, you go out there, you run it in that practice, which it's much different. You put pads on, you're tired. If you're tackling to the ground in any of the periods, like, you got to remember what you're doing in that moment. But then they're going to install, okay, maybe 2 new coverages and 4 new blitzes that you have to add to the rest of the playbook the next day, and you just do that over and over again. You got to remember all those plays when in a game for your game plan. You always pare the game plan down, and going into the game, hey, these calls are on the sheet, and these calls they're not on the sheet if you're not sure about certain things. So it's a lot on him. I don't know, like, I guess as the preseason goes, you're playing preseason games, you want him to look comfortable, like he's in command of the offense, and then it's got to take time, though, man. I don't know. Like, it's so hard to step in day one as a quarterback and look good.
Well, you need, like, live reps, right? Like, that's what Kittle was talking about with Lance. Like, until he actually gets reps, like, it'll be hard.
You need real reps, too.
Yeah.
You were saying Kenny. I understand Kenny doing better once the pads come on because it's true. Quarterbacks get pissed. Everyone just gets pissed. You don't honor the run. If you don't have pads on, a lot of times the backers, safeties, they don't care. They're just hanging out. You're not going to take the 2 steps up or whatever and when you're trying to sneak somebody behind them. So that's why another reason I think quarterbacks can start to look a little better as you get pads on and as the defense, we got to wear pads and you're chasing down. If you're making tackles, you get tired, man. And a lot of times that's when you can take advantage of those defenders.
I wanted to ask you because Telesco said it yesterday about Bosa, and then I saw reports about TJ Watt out of camp too, that they are just so good right now that they're ruining every practice. Has that ever happened? That you've ever been in a practice where that's happened?
I mean, I've watched Charles Woodson kind of ruin practices just because he gets so many picks or PBUs and he's calling out what the route combination is going to be, stuff like that. But, yeah, an edge rusher who's playing at a very, very high level, they can wreck a practice. Like, Geno Atkins. I used to watch Geno wreck practice in Cincinnati where Geno would be playing like 3 technique or shade, whatever he's playing on the D-line. And if we try to run the ball, like they try to run the ball away from him, didn't matter. Geno's 4 yards in the backfield making the tackle. And if they run at him, good luck. He's blowing everything up. So, like, you'd have to take him out of the drill or just not run running plays because Geno's going to stop everything.
For the Steelers, though, and you can probably speak to this with Rodgers, like, doesn't it help these quarterbacks to go up against, like, the Steelers defense? Like, when you guys were practicing against Brett or Aaron, like, wouldn't it help you once you got to the regular season because you were going up against these studs for the entire training camp?
Yes. And think about if you're an offensive lineman for the Steelers and you got Hayward staring at you with that giant head and he's so damn strong, just controlling the whole offensive line with one paw, it feels like that guy can do. So it's huge because then you get in the game and like, oh, okay, this is supposed to be crazy and these guys are all freaks. But these guys that I'm playing now aren't as big a freak as the guys I've been practicing against for 4 weeks. So, yeah, it's huge.
AJ, I want to do the giveaway one more time before we get out of here. It's hashtag PMS Football is back. Make sure you put your hashtag in the tweet. 10 winners will get $500. Let us know who on your team, who in training camp is getting you most excited about football being back?
Yeah, AJ, who's getting you excited, dude?
Yeah.
I know Fred.
Green Bay
aside
Packers. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you were pretty pumped when you saw Fred Warner running around chasing Trey Lance.
Fred Warner is an absolute monster, and how he put his foot in the ground I love it. I love everything that the guys can run. Like everyone runs a 4.3. I feel like.
What about Bubby Spillane?
Ooh,
I mean,
that dude. He is running downhill, and he will fill the gap for sure.
Hey, I saw Jordy was at practice yesterday. How come you didn't go with him?
I did see Jordy there. That was good to see him there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome. Him, Raj, kind of embracing, and then also they said, hey, guess what? Romeo Dobbs is wearing 87, and him and Jordy are talking together. So, you got
Jordy told him to take it off.
Probably that's what you did when they gave that other kid who on the Packers who was wearing 50. You're like, get that fucking jersey off of him. Unless it says Hawk on the back.
Now no one wears it, right?
Yeah.
No, there's people wear it.
No, they don't let anyone do it because you scared that guy so bad one time. It ruined his entire game.
That's completely false.
Well, I don't think so.
Con, I don't want to. Man, I'm curious about the Patriots. I'm a fan of Mac Jones. I absolutely am. I love how he's a superstar. The guy trots on the field. The place goes absolutely nuts. He was stepped into a tough situation replacing Tom Brady. Sure. He's doing awesome so far, but I don't know, man. Like they gotta make a run the playoffs, don't they, for people to take them serious?
Yeah, it's very hard when like the Super Bowl favorite is the Bills and like Josh Allen's there and everyone's talking about them, and then even below that, like everyone's really talking about the Dolphins, not as much as the Patriots. Whenever the Patriots come up, the only conversation is Matt Patricia's calling offensive plays. So how the hell is this going to work? But like even with Miami, even with the Bills and the Patriots, all three of those teams have new offensive play callers. So I feel like a lot of there's gonna be a lot of growth for all three of those teams. But I mean, I feel good about it. It's the Patriots. It's Bill Belichick. You don't think that Mac Jones is, or at least you don't hope that Mac Jones is going to take a step back. A new offense, like it's going to be probably a couple weeks before it feels like they actually have their like footing underneath them. But I mean, I feel good about it. I think they can make the playoffs. But if the AFC West sends 3 teams, and then you got, including their division winner, that's only one other wild card spot. So you're assuming only one from the AFC North. That's hard to imagine. And then you're assuming that the Patriots can be better than the Dolphins when they made way more like signings and improvement, it seems like, on the offensive side of the ball than the Patriots did.
Well, and every time I check in on the Dolphins, I see Tua completing deep balls.
Yeah.
Seems like to Tyreek Hill or somebody else, right?
Yeah.
What, you don't like that? You don't think it's going to happen in the games, Con?
No, he did that thing when they were like, when they asked Tua about his throw to Tyreek. You see us in the bucket. But no, I know. The Dolphins, I mean, I think Tua's good. Tua's like 3-0 against the Patriots and Bill Belichick. So we'll see what happens. The big bad wolf is still the Bills, so I'm not really worried about the Dolphins.
That's right. Bills, scary, underrated group is the D-line for the Bills. Those guys, I know how they rotate through, but I know they're wrecking shop early in camp. We're going to get out of here shortly, guys, but Hammer Down's coming on right 15 minutes after this, correct?
Yeah, it'll actually be a little quicker, probably 3:05ish.
There we go. Hammer Down will be after this. We'll be back on Monday for Overreaction Monday. Next week, we'll have a full slate of preseason games as well to talk about, build up to, and watch. Football is coming. We are here. We will see you on Monday.